Very nice. Let's see Paul Allen's intro. Anyway, how you guys doing? Ooh, super bright camera. Every once in a while, this thing decides to blast. Simply blast. Chill. Thank you. It's not that bright in the Wizard Tower. Chill. Anyway, how you guys doing this fine evening? Today you think you will watch a HeyWoah stream? Kohia Stare, huh? Kohia Tau Kilobyte. Oh. Not familiar with the streamer. Anyway, good emote. Has it been a good evening? Primo Segreto. Frank on the rocks with the first. Alright. Not bad. I tried putting a typo in the Twitch link. HeyWoah, you still got here? Yeah, I was... So, the thing is... I was responding to a Patreon message, and I lost track of time, and now I am 2 minutes late. Also, I'm trying to get 16 streams in a row of 75 minimum viewers on Twitch, so that I can qualify for partner. And, putting a typo in my Discord link... Perfect. Whoops. Augustus Brand. Thanks to the Prime. The big primer for 2 months. Thanks a lot. Augustus Brand. That sounds... Is this a... I don't mean to dox you, so I won't. But... Does this have anything to do with BAMF? No need to reply. Anyway, TY for the Prime. Bard from Entry thanks to the big Prime. Stormcast Gabriel is going to ultra kill a bunch of Skaven. True, and very good comment. Nicely on brand. Appreciate it. Please enjoy no advertisements, because imagine watching those. Brand new mate thanks to the tier 1 for 20 months. Hey, look. A sub. Appreciate it. Mr. Woe, my short one has a melody in her hand. What do I do? Your short one. Are you one of those parents who come up with alternative names for children? Categorically. Is a short one a small person? Anyway, I look forward to hearing your reply. Big rats? Yeah, true. Hey, streamer, pick up the pace, will ya? Yeah. That comment, I had... By the time that thing was posted, I forgot about the comment, and then somebody commented on the YouTube video. And they're like, somebody was rude to streamer, and streamer was like... The guy was like talking in Russian and stuff. Too slow. Speed it up, will ya? I'm like, I will not. But, chill. It's like going over the news section, you know? If you want to know the news on the official Warhammer community website, let me tell you, there's a faster way to get it than waiting for me to get around to talking about the paragraph that you want me to. It's going to that website yourself and just skimming it. Anyway, I don't bill myself as a high energy streamer, and so I'm not. Apologies. Anyhow, incoming backup. Thanks for the 15 currency that I do not recognize. Looks like a maze or something. Thanks for the 15 somethings. Incoming backup. Just came here to spread the word of Boing Gob. Tell you your content is awesome and also happy Passover. And also new Scaven is cool. Rat Silencer. Okay. Rat Silencer. Yeah, we're gonna look. There's Skaven news that I'm gonna get to in the news section, so I'll comment on that in the future. I don't know what Passover entails, but good work. Anyway, thanks for the 15 somethings. A balance patch before 4th edition? Yeah, I mean, it's a swan song, you know, a final hurrah, if you will. One last voyage. I don't know how many events people are going to manage to go to in between now and 4th edition, but I imagine there's plenty of people that will. You know? So, I'm still interested in it. Mostly as what's going to happen here? What kind of units do they still think need some help? Not necessarily as a window into what they'll do for the index or anything, but I don't know, maybe in a philosophical sense. Right? Anyway, appreciate it. Don't put that parent evil on me. You were just being dumb with your song lyrics. Oh, no big deal. Hey, no problem. Parent evil. Yeah, I don't know. Parents are weird. But I'm a hermit, so I would probably think that, right? As the arcade thinks it's a tier 1 to Pipkin Pippa. They will become PP. Appreciate it. Actually, we're just giving meme subscriptions now, but hey, a man can dream, right? I don't know if I'm exactly her type of content, but I appreciate it regardless. Excellent taste, sir, by the way. You use Twitch, but unfortunately your internet provider does not like the servers like it does YouTube. Don't worry about it. Having a certain amount of viewers, like, that's my responsibility. It's not your responsibility. That's my responsibility. Whether or not I get there. Appreciate the help, but still, it's not like your fault or anything. You use the platform you wish. That's why I'm streaming on 2 platforms at once, so that you may use the one you prefer. Can love bloom on the streaming platform? Bro, I wish. Please. YouTube folks, whatever. Worried you might be getting sick right before the tournament. You're signed up for. Hopefully it is something that goes quick or is mild and you can just mask up for it. Yeah, it's the polite thing to do, you know. If you're coughing and wheezing and stuff, you know. Make no promises, but to try to stomach Twitch. I mean, I'm not... Honestly, it was a throwaway comment. Don't let me interrupt your day. People are here to listen to something while they're painting after work, and you know, this could be like a radio station otherwise, right? Except you get to ask questions. The vibe I'm trying to go for is, don't worry about it. You know. Looks like Husband on Thundertusk is back alive. My robot's back alive. The alerts seem to be back online. I believe, you know, I looked into it a little bit, and it was the Streamlabs website was just, it was a problem on their end. Couldn't do much about it, which is always frustrating. Only great games, thanks to the tier 1.
Which prime?
Turn your volume up a bit. I can't hear you over Final Fantasy 14. Alright. Right now I'm reaching over to my mixer and I'm pretending to turn myself up, but if you do it on yours at the same time, we'll do the illusion together, right? There. Anyway, thanks for the tier 1, appreciate it. Good meme. You don't know the BAMF reference, so you don't know what you mean. Okay, hey, no problem. No big deal. It was... Your name is similar to one that I had not seen in a very long time. But don't worry about it. You did help me when I was on the fence about choosing between Stormcast and KL. Oh, okay. Well, whatever I helped you with whenever that was, I sure hope my advice wasn't buy as many Sarcosanct models as you possibly can. In my defense, how would I have known? But also, I hope you enjoyed the outcome regardless. First time chatter, Sawfish King. Hey, I just played against my first Ogre army as a Night Haunt player and can confirm, got charged a few times. Yeah. In the past, Night Haunt was a very good matchup for Ogres. Because every save they failed, 2 ghosts died. Just sort of a whole bunch of Gutbuster guys milling about, doing a million attacks, you know, that don't have very high rend anyway. I don't know how the matchup looks in the modern day, though. Ahem. And that was more of a Gutbuster versus Night Haunt thing in any case. How are you enjoying the 2-inch reach on your good men? That seemed like a nice upgrade. Anyway, I hope it was a good game against a nice opponent. Pure Speedwagon, the big primer. Speaking of points changes, you're loving the 4th edition changes, only worried that every army will be a horde like 40k with how cheap everything is. Well, I mean, very temporarily, right? Because 4th ed's right around the corner. If anybody remembers what they did last time, on that note, when 3rd edition came out, they made battalions go from costing points, like 200 or something, to being free. But, to counteract that, they increased the price of most units by like 20%, so that the armies stayed the same size, or even shrunk. Because it's been an ongoing goal of Age of Sigmar not to become 200 model, you know, fantasy armies that you need to just buy insane amounts of stuff to play. They've, in general, been, for the most part, reducing the number of models you have to put on the table. They don't want humongous armies, for the most part. Now, during an edition, the points start dropping on stuff because some of it sucks, right? But from one edition to another, they're trying not to let things balloon out of control. I imagine they'll be carrying that forward into 4th. Seems like a general policy, which I tend to agree with. This doesn't mean that there shouldn't be horde armies. There for sure should. It's just the median water level of the game shouldn't be crazy high, because it becomes a little bit of a barrier, right? Thanks for the $30 dues. Incoming backup. It's a Jewish holiday that is being celebrated today. Oh, okay. I think it's very close to when Easter is celebrated, but it's pretty different to my very limited knowledge about non-Jewish holidays. I don't have much knowledge about Jewish holidays nor other religious holidays.
Which prawn?
I only know... You know, I don't even know when you get off work from them, because I'm self-employed. And so I don't take holidays anyway. Anyway, I hope you enjoy yours. Finally got a bunch of Slaves to Darkness models built and played a game with them yesterday. Chef's Kios. Oh, Slaves to Darkness? Fridge Frizetta. Dude, Slaves look so good. So fucking good. I love Slaves. Don't clip that. I just thought about that. This is for a game. It's called Black Desert. I mean, Age of Sigmar. Can't they literally eat ghosts in the lore? There's one specific tribe that can, yeah. That they've been working on it. They've managed to eat some Stormcast souls with weird lightning rod contraptions and stuff. I think it's a Mournfang tribe, if I remember correctly. Ol Weir, maybe. And they have been able to devour a ghost or two, which I just think is a fun little bit of goofy little lore, you know? Most of the Sucksang Stormcast are easy proxies, though. Oh, for sure, yeah. It's a bit cold comfort to be like, well, just proxy it. Well, bro, I can proxy this shit with anything, right? It's a fairly hobby-centric, hobby-focused conversion positive game. You can proxy stuff with anything, but it sucks when your shit gets retired for no reason as well. Actually, there is a reason. I shouldn't say no reason. Would eating Stormcast Lightning be spicy or sour? To me, I'm guessing spicy, just because it sounds cooler, but that's the actual only reason. I heard somebody like, I'm like reading old chat right now. ThinkPad, thanks to tier 1, appreciate it. Gifted it to Mundiloo. Thanks for the tier 1 gifter. Jim Crimmins, thanks for the Prime Gaming. Please look forward to not seeing ads on Twitch, imagine. Pixel G, thanks for the Prime. Telescope Rat. Yeah, I'm looking at the preview of it right now on my desktop here. This here is very chill pre-stream hangout, so Rat is not yet discussed. Yeah, we haven't talked about the Rat yet. It was a great game. The 2 inches is very nice on the Night Hunt versus Ogre stuff. Yeah, I imagine it would be. The two-handed sword guys really wanted 2-inch reach, and now they have it. I'm sure you get this a lot, but what would your second army be if yours got discontinued? Probably... last time I answered this, I said I haven't really thought about it because I don't think it's going to happen. And if it does happen, I got 8 years out of the deal. Like, I got great memories. I got my money's worth 6.5 times over, you know. And so I'm happy with the memories and all the rest of it. It'd be a shame if my army was retired, but I haven't really thought about what to play if it did. I don't have a second army, really. Idnip Deepkin is kinda close to the playstyle. Slaves to Darkness are the coolest looking. So those are 2 that kind of pop up. Sons of Behemoth are about as elite, actually a little more elite. But I'm not terrifically in love with the models there. So, long story short, I don't have one. I don't got a bullet in the chamber ready to fire if my army is retired. And my army is kind of unique in a way. It's a confluence of all the things I care about. It's a Venn diagram. So, not sure. Long story short. Gietz? No way. I don't want to play a horde army. I don't want to play lots of little guys. I want to play big dudes. I don't want to paint a bunch of little guys either, to be perfectly honest. I like the Gietz models, the new ones. They're really fanciful and characterful. The sculpts are really nice. I have a fungoid cave shaman. He was fun to paint. I bought him because I wanted to paint him, and then I did, and I was happy with him. But I'm not trying to play the army. Just play one big Croxagore. No, I don't like Seraphon at all. I find Mesoamerican, you know, Aztec, Mayan, Olmec, all the rest of it, I find that architecture and art and history to be kind of interesting. But I don't like Seraphon's aesthetic, really. Because I'm not really a dinosaur person. Not really a crocodile dinosaur person. Mayan, Inca, Aztec, yeah, just all that kind of throw it in a bag and shake it up, right? And I really don't think I like the playstyle. Did HeyWoah almost originally play Skaven for the Bane-esque feel of Oops All Storm Fiends, Thief the Thief? Yeah, I was considering it way early on. I'm like, man, the Storm Fiends. The Storm Fiends are so sick. Those guys are pretty cool. Maybe I should play Skaven. But I basically didn't like anything else about Skaven but those huge, like, Bane guys. And so I decided early on that liking one thing specifically and not really liking anything else was not the way I wanted to go getting into an army. Right? Because what if you can't play with that one single unit? Well, now you have no options available to you for a while. I could see you playing Ironjaws. I'm not really an orc person. Not really an orc guy. I think orcs are fun. But I'm gonna say that a lot. You know, personal preference. It's kind of weird. It's hard to, you know, there isn't a lot of sense behind it. I'm gonna be honest with you. So a lot of the conversation is gonna be like, I don't really like that. And it's kind of like somebody tries ice cream and they're like, I don't really like that flavor. All right, you know, you'd think they would, but sometimes taste is just taste. What's the cave shaman's name? It was the fungoid cave shaman that they released with malign portents. He was the prophet of destruction. I believe the name they had for him officially in the lore was Snazgar Stink Mullet. I believe that's the official name for that guy, the Herald of Destruction. Which is a really stupid name. But it's Gits, so what do you want? Yeah, actually I just like Beast Claw, really. I'm a BCR kind of guy. Snazgar Stink Mullet was then killed by Gordrak in the Kragnos book. Was he? Oh. Rest in peace, didn't know. Pabu, thanks for gifting a tier 1 sub to the Hungry Panda. Oh, sniped him? Damn, Hungry Panda got sniped. Oh. I enjoy the generosity anyway. And also, Hungry Panda, don't bother watching ads. Because you don't have to. What factions do you like the most aesthetically? Slays the Darkness and? Question mark. I might as well go over it, right? We're just getting situated here. There's not a terrific amount of news. I mean, there's the final balance update where we get to look at all the points and stuff, and there's a Skaven news thing, but there's not a crazy amount of stuff to go over. I could spend some time considering what I would do if they flushed the toilet on the only faction that I've ever played in their game for 8 years. I'd probably be slightly upset. Well, no, I don't know that I would be upset. I would just be kind of sad. Oh, that's too bad. I've become sad, I think it would be. Hungry Panda is paying it forward. Oh, the system works. Gifting a tier 1. The community landed on Shorty Paint Studios on a second snipe. Hey, Shorty Paint Studios, thanks for showing up. I noticed you were streaming early, but I wasn't able to watch because I was editing sound. Chaos Celebi, you will admit you worry if GW flush Beast Claw away because you don't want to lose HeyWoah as the goat of AoS content. I would probably keep making it, I think. It's hard to say how you would react in a crisis. You know, people would like to think that they would be really level-headed and thinking on their feet and, you know, all that kind of stuff in a crisis, but you really can't know unless you're in one, right? So I don't think I would I don't think I would do the, you know, I wouldn't light my army on fire or boycott GW now or anything like that. I don't think I'd overreact to that degree. I would just be sad. I would essentially do like another The Year is 1993 video, except a video. It'd be like 20 minutes long, and the purpose was just to make everyone really sad when they watched it and be like, goodbye, good night, sweet prince, my ogre army. And I just make a video that's kind of meaningful and sad, but also all right. Would thanks for the prime. This Hyperion can now legally drive. Oh, word. Cover the army in cream and then bury it at sea. I think I would have to just put it in a glass case forever. I think it's, you know, I've been making Age of Sigmar YouTube stuff for what, 5 years, 6 years, something like that. It's like a reasonably long amount of time to be important. Put the thing in a glass case forever, right? Oh, the memories kind of stuff. Krizevian, thanks 100 bits. Appreciate it. TY. Hey Barracuda. Thanks for the 5 tier 1 gifters. Appreciate it. Oh, it landed on Chinese name. Sweet. I'm worldwide. I'm worldwide now. And Cuppa Nudes, which is essentially a noodle thing. Anyway, Tay Barracuda, thanks for the generosity. I appreciate it. Can't think of a scenario that would get you to burn one of your armies. Oh, I easily can. But it would be a silly situation. You know? If you burn your army, I'll give you $1 million. All right. Bet. Easy, right? But I know what you mean. I know what you mean regardless. If they squat your army, you have to give the Slanesh guy the mirror back. Oh, true. I mean, he's probably halfway through painting his new 4th edition army at this very moment. But yeah, it would be a sad story, or a sad end to that story. Tuning in on a hike, doing the impossible, touching grass while watching a HeyWoah stream. Oh, I got a new one. I don't know. I haven't tested it yet. And there's tons of good questions and comments here that I'm going to get to. You guys want to see the new walk? I don't know if the sound is mixed right, but... Let's go. Brand new walk. Touching deep sea grass. Anyway, let's go on an adventure. The ogres would judge him if he didn't burn them for the payout. Yeah, I mean they're kind of like that. Thanks, you hate it. You do? That's too bad. You're sitting on an old rat ogre kit and debating to build and paint him or wait. Oh, okay. Put on the Donkey Kong water theme music. I think it's the Bloodborne soundtrack. Every WoW gamer loves this leveling zone. I didn't like it. But I don't generally like underwater levels. The controls are usually kind of screwy. Slays to Darkness, Abraxia, Archaon. They put out a new kit for Chaos Lord Sorcerer on Manticore. And they reforged the stupid Soul Grinder. Welcome home, HeyWoah. It's definitely not the play style that I would like. But, the aesthetic is pristine. Bits. Oh, thanks to bits. Appreciate it. Dang, thanks for 300 bits. Aiming our Predator Blaster. So this is an underwater submersible. What's it called? The Hercules, I think this is. And they use the lasers to measure stuff. So they want to see how... Oh, they find a fish. They want to see how big it is. HeyWoah loves aqua ambiance, right? I'm fascinated by the biology of things under the sea. Is this from Blue Planet? No, this is... I found the unedited, just like 30 hours of various Nautilar something on YouTube and ripped like 2 hours of it. It's possible some of this footage was then used in Blue Planet, maybe, but I don't think it was good enough. I don't think it's 4K. It was pretty hard to find, I'm gonna be honest. It was really hard to find because of how... Okay, I'm gonna boom a little bit. So, warning, I'm booming a little bit here. But what I wanted was, I wanted a science sub exploring the ocean depths. The deeper the better. And I wanted it to be as long as possible. I don't want the edited version. I don't want the 2-minute TikTok version, you know. I don't want the YouTube shorts. I want the whole ass footage. I don't want the highlights. I want the whole thing, right? And so I'm trying to use the YouTube search feature. But when you search for something in YouTube, it shows you 4 things maybe that have to do with what you typed, and then just endless trash. That they're like, we think you would also like this. Here's Pipkin Pippa shooting up a Walmart or something. And I'm like, look, that's funny, and I normally would like to watch that, but that's not what I searched for, you know? And so it was really difficult to have search results enough that just like had to deal with what I'm looking for. I want to scroll down and then click on the next page of scrolls, and I want a bunch of results. And they just don't want to show you a bunch of results. They want to show you clickbait nonsense that they think you would like. Even in the search page. I'm mad. YouTube has destroyed their search as utility in favor of engagement farming. That one sentence is what I am complaining about, yes. Yeah, I don't like that. And it made searching for stuff annoying and difficult. And Google is becoming the same way. You think they'd be able to show you a million results, you know? There's only 7 websites in the whole world anymore. You'd think they'd be able to show you stuff, but no, engagement farming. And me too. Stings with a tier 2 for a 13-month streak. Lucky 13. Oh, that's almost 12 months. True. A baker's streak. Anyway, thanks for the big tier. Tier 2 is huge, and I appreciate it. PYVM. Deep Sea? Did you mean Shy Lily highlights? Yeah, that's the level of, like, that's almost not even a joke, right? Because it's like that. That's what it does. You don't want a bunch of scientists going, oh wow, I don't mind that because I'm gonna rip the video and get rid of all the audio anyway. I actually rather do like the bunch of scientists watching, and then you can hear them going on shifts, like one's going to bed and the other is waking up and taking over, and they're looking at it and they're like, ooh, do you think that isopod in the jelly, do you think that's one of those isopods that goes for a ride on jellies and it's somewhat of a symbiotic relationship? Or do you think it's being eaten? Ooh, I don't know. Ooh, what's the species of that? It's some sort of siphonophore, right? I kind of like that scientists getting excited thing in the background. I think it adds to it a little bit, at least for me. It's I don't know if cute is the right word, but it's charming to hear scientists excited about seeing something. You know, when they crest the rise after 16 hours of looking at this sub, and then they think maybe they see a whale fall up ahead, and it actually is, and they're really excited about it. I think that's cool. Is this music too loud, by the way? Zach Maples thinks you're upgrading to Sorcerer Supreme YouTube membership. I appreciate it. Also, you know, I didn't consider if anyone had Thalassophobia. I think I pronounced it right. It's a little loud. Yeah, it probably is. Bloodborne music is supposed to be epic and really loud and everything, so it fluctuates a whole lot. I think I need a more chill, dark academia sort of vibe, I think, perhaps. For unedited underwater stuff. Anyway, Ocean Explorer, they're on YouTube and have hours of unedited deep water exploration. You can be a roll of scientists watching the screens. I think that might be the actual one that I found, Malak. I had to go look in descriptions and click and then go to their website and eventually track the stuff down. Treasure Mountain music would slap with this? Yeah, true. You love the video of the scientists calling the fish ugly. It's just uncalled for. Hey, you know, they're out of line, but they're right. Donkey Kong Underwater Ambience is goated. Yeah, but it's a Nintendo property, so I'm probably going to get dinged on copyright for it. I'll try. I've been uploading stuff to YouTube, but keeping it private just to let the copyright robots devour it whole and see what hits and what doesn't for the future. a lot of stuff is, for some reason, you know, there's revenue sharing, there's, you can't show this, well, you know, you're not even allowed to make a video with it, and then there's banned in certain countries, and it's always Belarus, Russia, those two, every time. Maybe it's on account of the war, I'm not sure. Honestly, probably is, to be honest. Yeah, actually, I think that's probably it. That's probably the reason. I don't know, don't invade other sovereign nations. Seems pretty simple. You thought this was just HeyWoah taking an underwater walk? Oh yeah, I recorded this, obviously. Same with the rest of them. Edinburgh kicks down your door and voices over your beating. Yeah. Man's got a great voice. He's a great narrator. Legendary. Play 90s themed anime tabletops on Sundays. Before a game we watch 90s content and wanted to show them your Cream video but couldn't find it. I think it's on HeyWoah Plus somewhere. I think I have those Cream videos there. They're probably chilling at 112 views total or something, but I think they're there. They're on HeyWoah Plus, if I IRC correctly. Do the red letter media thing and dissolve it all in acetone? I could do that. Hotspur 12 thinks it's a tier 1. Big. This is IDK propaganda. I don't know if you take music requests. I don't. But there is something called Zelda and Chill. It's really cool. Lo-fi remixes of Zelda. I have found those lo-fi remixes have copyrighted stuff that'll get you revenue shared or sometimes cross you out. Just randomly all throughout them, especially if it's Nintendo music. But that's why I'm trying to like create a huge playlist of stuff that I have vetted. I've like uploaded it and let the robots go at it and then taken out the stuff that I can't. It's an ongoing process. It takes a long time, but it's very low effort. Any illegal amount of acetone, sure. You hear from other streamers, Nintendo is fast with their IPs. Yeah, they're caretakers of it. You didn't know that about lo-fi music? I mean, it just depends on what they're putting up. You can't be sure. Playing Copyright Strike Battleship. Well, it's not Copyright Strike Battleship. I know you didn't mean that, but the nomenclature is there's a Copyright Strike is way more serious. This is just like you can't monetize it. Maybe you have to revenue share it. Maybe it's banned in Russia. Like those are the three. A copyright strike is way more serious, and not something that I have ever gotten. I don't think. Just about the only way you can get a copyright strike is if you make a video about another content creator to get them mad enough and then they issue you a strike or something. And I mean, I've done that in the past, but not recently. If I wanted to make a video shitting on some other content creator, all they would have to do is be like, oh yeah, well, upload a YouTube video more than once every 4 years, and then they'd get me. You know, what are you gonna do? You want to request farting on my roommate's door? It's impossible not to laugh at that. At least the enhanced version with the fucking "do you see it" guy and that whole subgenre of fake ghost crap. Maniac called an airstrike on HeyWoah confirmed. No. I'm talking about way older stuff. We were almost going to do a show together, but it never went anywhere. He like joined my Discord and he's like, hey, you want to talk about Age of Sigmar? And I'm like, actually, yeah. And then we just had a conversation about it, and that was that. It's part of the game, right? Like, he released, you know, high engagement, clickbaity kinda, you know, stuff out there with the intent of getting people to respond to him. And then the people responding to him get a bump out of it. He gets a bump out of it. That's the game, right? Neither he nor I were taking anything personally. Talk to him at Adepticon with Vince about painting and stuff. Just chilling. It's, yeah. I think a lot of that, like, this content creator versus that content creator stuff is really for silly fans to get upset about, but the people might not really be thinking like that. I'm sure some do, I guess, but... Cream videos are on HeyWoah Plus. Scroll a year ago. If you hit Persona 5, you've gone too far. Yeah, that's probably it. The way you figure Maniac's vid could have been a hell of a lot worse. That's been on... that it's been the civils pretty nice. Yeah, it's... I don't think anyone took offense. Nor should they have, right? We're all adults here. The thing I'm most annoyed about is my video isn't very good. I took like a rip of the stream of it instead of making a produced video. And so my video sucks, which is unfortunate. But at the time I didn't have time. I was too busy with real work. I just had no time to make a good produced video, so it had to be a reaction. I regret that. But it kind of couldn't be helped. It's that simple. Damn, give me a minute. I'm going to make my 2-hour female Space Marine video. Yeah. 40k people will literally click on anything. You'd think the market would be saturated, but somehow it isn't. I don't know. In some respects, I chose the wrong game to like. But on some other respects, you know, I make content because I like the game, so what do you want to do? You, him, and Ninjon are the 3 Warhammer creators you watch? Oh, nice. Hey, I appreciate it. Maniac is chill, even if he is a so-so pro. Yeah. Death Long Number, thanks for the tier 1. Huge Tiny Ratman AoS model reveal hype. Yeah, we're going to look into it after the exploration is done. Thanks for the tier 1. HeyWoah versus Maniac is a steel cage match with fire and snakes, or fire snakes. HeyWoah versus Vince, except it's just Commander footage, yeah. I played Commander with Vince at Adepticon. It was a good time. We only got a few games in, unfortunately. But it was a good time. If you chose the worst game, you'd be... Yeah. CJ Busta... Oh.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Yeah. If only I was interested in 40k, right? Then I would be collabing with Melody. Ah. It should have been me, not him. It's not fair. Oh man, another man living out my dream. All I can say, all I can do is be happy for him. All I can do is be happy for him. Someone gets to live the dream. It's too bad it's not me, but as long as it's someone. Hang out with Mel and Matar instead of us. It would be in addition to. Don't worry about it. Saw your Golo shot the other day. What commander do you play in his plays? I play Garth. Garth the One-Eyed. The one who taps to make Black Lotus, Brain Geyser, Terror, Regrowth, Shivan Dragon, and Disenchant. It's like a flicker deck, so you can flicker him and give him haste. So you can, you know, continuously make Black Lotuses, continuously make Shivan Dragons to try to kill people with. He's cool because you can activate him on someone else's turn and cast sorceries like Regrowth and Brain Geyser and stuff. Kind of like a boomer deck. It's got a Chaos Orb in it. Order Ian is unfathomably based. He's the grognard you aspire to be. I don't know who that is, but I don't know a lot of Warhammer content creators. I mostly just make the content and talk about the news and go to tournaments and play the game and, you know, all sorts of stuff like that. But I'm not like watching Warhammer stuff all the time. I'm watching other stuff. Don't steal HeyWoah's tokens. They are for sure not real. Yeah, for legal reasons, don't shoot me and steal my Black Lotus token. It's his Judith deck was sick. Yeah, it was sweet. It was a sweet one. John was laughing about how you three jumped him after his little gambit failed. Yeah. Dude, he blasted out of the gates with a cool-ass combo, and I'm like, I have no way of stopping this. I failed to find... I drew a bunch of cards, but I couldn't find an answer, so I'm like, well, I guess I'll cast the One Ring. And then it was the turn that every other person basically was just about to win the game in a way that the One Ring protected against, and so I'm like, ooh, yeah, not bad. Got me. Yeah, Terror OP against Spellskite. That was the craziest thing, because Terror is bad. It's a bad card. Terror. It's an old card. Destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. And so the reason the card is bad is the reason that the card kind of won the game. You can't Spellskite it because it can't target artifacts. And so I found that exact interaction to be really interesting. The reason the card was bad was the reason that it also accidentally won the game. Christo Cap, hey, huge. I don't even know how many this is. 25 subscriptions. Christo Cap. 5 arms? You have 5 grips? Dude, huge, dude. Hey, I appreciate the massive generosity. Also, how long have you been subbed? 25 gift subs. Huge. Thanks a lot. Didn't even type in chat. Amazing. You guys are going to have to listen to 25 wows at this moment. 25 gifters. Hey, that's very kind of you. I appreciate it. They paid good money for those wows, and they're going to listen to them. This is first time on Twitch. Thanks for the great content. Hey, first time chatter. His first chat message after he donates 25 subs. The power. Sometimes you just got to send a message. Wow. Anyway, thanks a lot. Did it for the wows. Well, then they will play. You choose to believe the Soulbound reference to you? I think it did, Vault Boy. I haven't specifically asked about it, but Mephisto was on the playtest team. And ABC Always Be Charging, especially at the time, was kind of a known meme in AoS at that time. So I think it actually was, which was cool. I choose to believe that. So fucking big. Sorry, my dude, but you're huge. Yeah, Necron. The Chad first-time watcher, first-time typer. You gotta have brass balls to stand on circles. Yeah, yeah. You want to be a foot hero? Go home, play with your kids. Sub-only stream ain't a meme. Dude, at one point it wasn't. Yeah, I'm closing in on it. He's a 40k guy, very chill, gets into the lore in a very thoughtful way. Has a really cool novel reading series. Lore being the best, only good, question mark, part of 40k. I really like the setting a lot. And some of the lore. Like the detail-oriented lore, the trivia, the tidbits, this place is structured in this way and this thing has that. I like that very much about 40k. I'm not terrifically interested in the game necessarily. Or even really necessarily the models. If you have to compare them to AoS, I think AoS has more interesting models if you're trying to customize and hobby up on them. But the setting and the lore is really good. I really like it. There isn't really any reason that AoS's can't be very good as well. I think coming up with a setting as good as 40k's is sort of an accident. It's got to be lightning in a bottle. You can't just do that. If you could do that on purpose, they would have done it on purpose again, right? And they just haven't. Almost no one has. So, okay, yeah, you can't do that again, but I mean, they're clearly working on it. And that most recent Stormcast lore bit, that shit was kind of nice, man. That was kind of nice in a way where it gave me hope looking forward to the lore really getting a lot cooler. A lot more interesting. But long story short, I'm here for it. Shit is sick. AoS has amazing centerpieces, yeah, for sure. 40k has some too. I did a stream where I was comparing them. 40k's got some great stuff. I think AoS hedges them out in general, but 40k has a few, perhaps even several, like really stellar centerpieces. He's a little old now, but the Mortarion, obviously really good. Grezkrol Thraka, I think he won. I think he was my winner for the best centerpiece in 40k. The weird demon spindly arm technology guy, I really like him. Don't know what his name was. Anyway, sculptors at Games Workshop, kind of good. Who'd have thought, right? Did you try again, SJRK? Jesus Christ, what is wrong? Streamlabs. I gotta figure this out. If Streamlabs can't show stuff that people pay that much for, I gotta change the company. Did you watch Michi's debut? I did, yeah. I never watched Mika Meltika before. I wasn't really a Niji person. I like Pomu and everything because Metal Gear is sick, but never really a Niji Sanji watcher. But it seems she's settling into the V-shoujo land, which is like, hey, let's take big personalities that are very successful and are just like stupendously mistreated by their company, just absolutely dropping the ball, like just watching sand fall through their fingers, you know? And hey, I don't know, you're supposed to be a manager company, get better at managing, or you're gonna get poached. It shouldn't be that easy to steal good talent. I don't even think they're necessarily stealing them. I think they're pushing them away, and V-shoujo is just like walking down the street minding its own business. Oh, look at that. A wallet has fallen on the ground. I'll just pick that one up. Here for the Skaven preview. We love all the content you put out. Duffy Paints Tuffy. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. We go on walks and I just talk to chat for like a super long time, and then we talk about the news, and sometimes there's video games, sometimes there's Age of Sigmar games, sometimes there's content and stuff like that, but for the most part, got something on in the background to paint to. Who just joined Vishoujo? Michi Mochi Eevee, formerly Mika Meltika. If you were tasked for creating a faction for AoS that was meant to appeal to as many people, bring in the general audience, what would it be? I would choose not to do that. I fundamentally disagree with doing that. Bad pockets. Good question. But I don't think that's a good thing to do in general, like philosophically. I think you make something for everyone, you end up making something for no one. One of the big reasons that giant AAA studios and Disney and stuff have been in such of a quality decline is because they're falling over backwards to, yeah, it's Mark Rosewater's Law, and some others besides. But to get the broadest possible audience, you end up making kind of gray mush. Keep your target audience in mind. Yeah, the Ubisoft approach, yes. Be like Miyazaki. Make an entire movie for one specific little girl. And if it's good, people will like it. Also, there's too many armies. There's too many armies as it is. It seems like I'm berating Bat Pocket's question here, but I'm really not. I'm pleased that they gave me an opportunity to stand on an apple box briefly here. There's too many armies. There's like 25. They just got rid of like 100 models because they can't sustain making this many models all the time. The game is clearly at capacity for like number of armies we have, and so I would not make another one. I would support what you have and move forward. Then if that works and you grow and you, oh hey, look, we're successful and we got an extra little addition onto our factory, now we can support more. Okay, at that point make an extra army if you can, moving forward. But you know, even a company should live within its means. Hey, well, the girl who loves poisoned swamps. I was thinking of Nausicaa and Kiki's Delivery Service and Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke and Porco Rosso and all the rest, but even Ponyo. What about Chaos Dwarves? They belong in a museum of boring bad ideas. I'm just kidding. It sounds like a great old world army, Chaos Dwarves. The only people who want Chaos Dwarves, legitimately, without memeing, are generally people who probably play Old World anyway. I don't know. Chaos Dwarves sounds like a good army for the Old World, and definitely not a good army for AoS, but that's my opinion. It's like doubled. I don't want more armies, and I definitely don't want Chaos Dwarves. Train car artillery is cool, but everything else about them is stupid. That's just my opinion, man. Let me get elementals. Yeah. Let me get boneless pizza. Chaos Dorbs. You only play AoS because you're waiting for Chorfs. Good meme. Spicy questions are fine. I don't mind. You should be able to handle some spicy questions if you're gonna stream for 7,000 hours. So we reached a point where another army was added. Which Grand Alliance do you think should get it? Destruction. Maybe Death. Absolutely, positively not Order nor Chaos. They're fine. If you care about balance, like just diametric symmetry, you know, and you should probably have roughly, not exactly, but roughly equal number of choices within each Grand Alliance if you're going to have those things. And so no way should it be an Order army, and no way should it be a Chaos army. Maybe Death, maybe Destruction. Probably Destruction. I don't have a great reason, just like roughly equal amounts. That's my only reason. If you want to make something for everyone, you end up with slop. Not always, Vault Boy. It's just... it's a correlation. Not always. If you're really fucking good that will always, or that can definitely trump anything else, right? If you're just that good, you can make something that everyone likes. I'm thinking about, you know, DreamWorks in a certain period, like the movie Up, for instance, right? Up was kind of made for everyone, and they did a really good job with it, and so everybody liked it. Christo Cap, thanks for the tier 1, 6 months. In advance, you think you're gonna like me for the next 6 months? Going on vacation, boys. See ya. 6 months. Anyway. Let's change the walk so the thalassophobia people can come back. Rainforest. Yeah, never forget the, like, all this stuff is just tends to be, in general, that kind of stuff. You can always be so fucking good, right? That you can do it anyway. Or that you can succeed anyway or make something great anyway. Oh, somebody redeemed and tanks his channel for the memes. Yeah, a little bit. I'm trying to be responsible for this exact 2-month period. I'm already feeling a little recalcitrant about it, however. The question was in mind that it would be bad or a boring idea for faction, something that you think would bring people to the game regardless if it was good for it or not. Yeah, bad pockets. I took your question and went in a different direction than you probably wanted it to be, or that you intended it to be. Something that would bring people to the game? Like, what is it missing, I guess? What is AoS missing as far as factions are concerned? Just general theme. And this is going to be a harder question than you think, because I'm going to put some rules on it. And one, it can't be J.R.R. Tolkien ripoff with nothing else added to it. Like, I want normal elves. I want normal dwarves, because it's just not what AoS is about, fundamentally. So that's off the table, right? And then the other thing is an army of junipers, bug people, bug stuff, huh? The other is it can't be just exactly one country, just copy paste, you know, Egypt, right? Because they're not doing the Warhammer Fantasy thing. And so I'm gonna read your responses right after this word from our sponsors that somebody asked for, and also I gotta get a drink because I'm out. BRB.
Right now, you could be savoring the rich, creamy flavor of angel food ice cream. It's the extra cream in angel food that blends all of your favorite flavors so they're always smooth and creamy, never pointy. How about some rich and creamy angel food ice cream right now?
Introducing the best news for ice cream lovers since ice cream began. New Simple Pleasures. It's everything you love about ice cream, but no point. New Simple Pleasures is unbelievably rich, incredibly creamy, and absolutely top. Oh yeah. Because New Simple Pleasures is made with all natural pure athlete, yeah. Instead of point. New delicious all natural Simple Pleasures. There's never been an ice cream like it.
With Klondike ice cream bars, you get big servings, big taste, big cream.
Imagine
5 big, moist, delicious ounces of big, hot ice cream. And a coating made with beautiful
milk,
chocolate, so you can
pour
big cream.
like I've never had it.
Klondike, big bar, big
Cream.
Big bar, big cream. Klondike bars are fucking weak. True, but funny commercial, right? Model refresh is what you mean? No. Problem with Death Faction is we already have zombie ghouls, skeletons, ghosts, vampires, so it's really hard to innovate. Not exactly wrong. Those are Elves with Spears, Cream Elementals, AoS something like Ancient Tibetan Monastery, Insane Kung Fu, East Asian Warriors. No, sir, I don't like it. Katanas and throwing stars and stuff. Man, I don't know. Wouldn't it just be like Japan the army, like, I don't know, Kung Fu movie the army? I don't know how thrilling that is. Hardcore magic destruction army, think over the top mages, big monster cav death army. Weeaboo factions fucking suck. Damn, usually I kind of tend to agree. Animu and Mongo reader as I am. When they get translated to game mechanics, I tend not to be particularly interested in them. AoS is the most different factions of any wargame you think you've ever seen, and it's not close. Space Marine chapters don't count. I think they do, because essentially they're just sharing a model range, but they have different enough rules. I guess it depends. Oh, you know, maybe they don't count if you're talking production-wise, right? Because they get to double dip, and by double dip I mean like octuple dip or something. Ahem. If you're going to add a unit to BCR, what would you do? Frost Kings from the lore. They've talked about Frost Kings. It's like the equivalent of an Over Tyrant, except in Beastclaw. They ride mythical living mountain style creatures. They're as big as Mega Gargants. I mean, it's obviously trumped up because of the lore, but yeah, Frost Kings for sure. It wouldn't help them mechanically or as an army or anything. I just want to see the representation of it on the battlefield. I think would be cool. And I want to see what modern sculptors can do when it comes to my dudes, the stuff that I like. Spicy questions are fine. Doesn't answer my spicy question. I couldn't find it. I kept scrolling. Mechrat. Hold on. What was the spicy question? Just repeat it. Just repeat it again. I missed it. It's gone. It's fucking gone, man. OBS has a problem where the scrolling doesn't work very well, and it keeps resetting on the back end. Apologies. With goblins, orcs, ogres, giants all have their own armies. You wonder what could be added to destruction. You have a spare casket from Black Coach. You're thinking of attaching it to Gotrek and making him Gold Lewis? Oh, shit. Alternatively, you could make him Gungrave. If we're talking old, kind of bad PS2 games. Yeah, some kind of Beastman faction. I don't know that a Beastman faction would bring the wide appeal, though. All this stuff that everybody is talking about now, elementals, flesh golems in death, Weebo faction, silent, like bug army, all this stuff I think slots into places that AoS hasn't fully explored yet. So like that part is correct for all the stuff I'm reading. I don't know if any of that stuff is like mass appeal in a way where like people are looking at Age of Sigmar and they're like, damn, if only there was a bug person army. I don't think it's suddenly like 40k popularity exactly. I'm not sure. I don't know what kind of massive appeal thing people are waiting on in the wings to adopt to get into the game. I don't know if there is such a thing. If there is such a thing, you better believe that the eggheads working in the marketing department and the concept art department long-term pipeline of GW are trying to think of that too. Because they would probably do it. Bring in the furry community, it might. Yeah, but you gotta be careful who you're bringing in. No hate, but... Human destruction tribes. You just see wave 2 for existing armies, then see a new one. Of course. Yeah, that's the real answer, but we're entertaining the secondary anyway. Could it be dragons? Is it really just dragons? I know Stormcast has some dragons. Stormcast has essentially 2 dragons. The Krondis box and the Knight Draconis box. And aside from that, they got weird inbred looking ass corgi derp goofy ass nonsense. And there isn't... What's the other dragon in the game? Sorceress on Black Dragon. Looks like a noodle made out of Play-Doh. Shit's embarrassing. Oh, Ionis just came out and he's really cool. Yeah, okay, I guess we do have some dragons. Yeah. What about like a destruction faction like Deathwing? Like a Deathwing faction. Where it's this massive magma volcano dragon, kind of looks like made out of the earth. And then it's just dragons. The whole army is dragons. I don't know. I'm trying to think mass appeal, right? And dragons are pretty mass appeal. People like them. Deathwing was dope. Yeah, if only the expansion was good. Damn, I hated Cataclysm. Anyway. Yeah, God Beast army. That'd be sick. Kind of stepping on Fireslayer's toes. Well, then they should make some fucking models for Fireslayers that don't look the same as everything else. They should expand on the army they have, right? But we already said that part. Also, it's more of a salamander thing for Fireslayers. It could be a magma dragon. They could do that. Monk in Dungeons & Dragons makes you fall asleep standing. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Dungeons & Dragons Monk, like that should just be a fighter subclass. It should be one of your options for fighter. Same with Barbarian. Want to see the dwarves make a working cog fortress on the tabletop? Volcatrix reincarnated and corrupted by evil dragon cultists plot, yeah. The purple dragons. Jund style faction, lots of non-orc dudes being druid barbarians. Kind of cool. Also like to see more duality across the range, like they're leaning into a slave Stormcast cities. Yeah, they are doing that more. The towers are their units, walls are movable, gate is an altar, etc. So like Alexander, then, from Final Fantasy. Giant worm centerpiece, subterranean army being popular after Dune. Desert power. Braxia's mount is some kind of bastardized corruption wingless dragon thing. Shai Hulud, yeah. Yeah, we don't have a desert faction, do we? Not explicitly, anyway. Desert power, you've been summoned, yeah. Thrycreen from Dark Side. Ooh, very good. I like that one. Thrycreens from Dark Side. Psychic Thrycreens. Would play. Mummies, but not Egyptian. No Desert Faction, please. Too easy to rely on tropes. I mean, as a Games Workshop game, it is built upon tropes, but also, we don't want the laziest ones, right? I'm just thinking, like, I guess, what do I want? I want Star Scourge Radahn riding Deathwing. Is that too much to ask? Is that so much? I mean, maybe it is. We need the tiny horse, or it just doesn't make sense. You don't want to rip off Elden Ring too hard, right? Because they kind of did it with Godric the Grafted and Big Oosh, right? In Flesh Eater Courts. And you can... That's an homage, and that's perfectly fine. But I think if you copy the little horse, it'd be a little too much copying their homework. What a Desert Army about animated stone constructs and golems and a bunch of wizards sending them into battle. Yeah. Ironjaws would be a good replacement for ogres. Unique combination of different tropes almost becomes original. Yeah. Or it's an interesting take on it, or a fresh look, or, you know, it's like going to a fusion restaurant, I guess. Big Oosh is forever the phrase used to identify AoS knowers, yeah. It's more like the HeyWoah watchers, I guess. Then again, not really, like, probably big memes and stuff are more appropriate. $40k crude, no need to steal shit from WotC when you already have those assets. Yeah, flats as well. Anyway, what was your spicy question, by the way? I failed to answer it before because it scrolled off the page. It wasn't that spicy. You already more or less answered it. You were asking about hopes for 4th edition Beast Claw. Okay, there we go. I found it. I found it. Hopes for 4th edition Beast Claw? Oh, may I? Can I indulge just a little bit? Can I waft? A little bit of hopium, just a touch. What am I hoping for? First and foremost, it seems like BCR is one of the factions that's going to stick around. So we got that one. We're still in the game. And suddenly we're basically first in line, I think, for a model refresh thing. You know? The kind that Seraphon got, that Slaves to Darkness got, that Flesh Eaters kind of got. That Skaven are now getting. The Yora faction with a bunch of old models from Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and now it's time to get some new plastic, especially if you used to have Finecast. And that's where Ogres are sitting. The first hopium would be, give me that. You know? With your chief competitors out of the way, I think we were arguably next in line anyway. It depends on how you want to talk about it, I guess. We had more Finecast than Beast of Chaos, but their sculpts are older. So really it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. 90 minutes into a news stream and just now asking to indulge, welcome to a HeyWoah stream. The low energy hat gaming streamer who goes on walks pretending like he goes outside even though he doesn't. And we talk about whatever we please. Also, I guess apologies if you don't like that. I think I'm taking it as a funny comment. Front of the queue, baby. Anyway, what am I hoping for fourth for Beastclaw Raiders? Well, once we get all of the, like, new model refresh hopium stuff out of here, because they're going to do whatever, right? And Gutbusters and all the rest. As far as, like, rules and stuff, damn, I really hope we keep our impact hits on the charge. Huge. I think that's really important. I like that. I like being fast. I like being elite. I like doing mortal damage, as it will soon be called, in the charge phase, like right after I smash into something. I think that's fun. I like the monster truck style gameplay, so I hope we keep that. Switch hats, sure. Since I'm talking about Beastclaw Raiders, we'll go Altered Beast. How about that? Yeah, I detected his comment, and he definitely meant to type insect, and so I didn't bring it up. He definitely meant to type insect. Sometimes you're reading somebody's comment and people are like, oh, streamer can't read it. No, we're fixing your typos live. And some of the syntax as well. Anyway. Yeah, Pure Hopium. They actually fix Everwinter. Damn, I hope Everwinter is a rule that matters. Everwinter is so important to Beastclaw. It could be like an IDK Tides of Death table. It could be like a Daughters of Cain murder rights thing. It could be like just a big, huge, old, important mechanic that maybe progresses, or maybe you can play around, or maybe you can build around doing something with it. I hope they do something with it. Long story short, the worst thing it could be is your hero phase only, roll a die, nothing happens. Which is what it has been since the beginning of the game. That's not actually true. In first edition, it could give you faster movement or durability, or it could do the stupid pulse thing that no one liked. And they got rid of everything except the thing that no one liked, and then made that. So anyway, yeah, I hope they do something cool with the Everwinter. I want that to be a mechanic. I hope they make Thunder Tusks worth playing for the first time since they were good in first edition. They gotta figure out how to do... They gotta figure out what to do with the Thunder Tusk, because it's a bad monster. That's the problem with the Thunder Tusk. Is the template for the monster, called Thunder Tusk, is bad. It's not very durable. It doesn't do any melee damage. It is slow. So it's bad damage, not great defense, slow, doesn't fly. It has a shooting attack that sucks. Like, very sucks. So what is it supposed to do? Well, I don't know. You gotta come up with... They were mentioning in... I think Matt Rose, during his interview, was talking about... we're coming up with jobs for the different war scrolls and stuff like that, and that's a good way of figuring out what to do. Yeah, it's also a bad support piece. And only one of the 3 versions of it is a support piece in any case, right? Only the Huskar. The other 2 are not. I think they made a mistake, fundamentally speaking. You have a Stonehorn. What is a Stonehorn? It is your melee monster. What is your Thunder Tusk? It is an artillery monster. It's clearly what the roles are meant to be. You have a melee monster, Stonehorn, and an artillery monster, Thunder Tusk. And so, if you're going to continue with that, the artillery monster should be usable as an artillery monster, and it's just not. But if you get artillery that's actually good, people don't like that. You know, they don't like it when you shoot at them, right? People don't like that. It's toxic or NPE or whatever. And so you have a choice. Do you want artillery to always suck? And at that point, why are you making it? Or, I don't know, figure it out. Their decision was to make it anti-horde artillery, kind of, but it's actually not. If you go through the motions of seeing how it all plays out, it's actually not anti-horde. It's just bad against everything. It does more damage against hordes, but it scales up perfectly to always be bad, no matter what it's shooting. I think ostensibly maybe it's supposed to be anti-horde because you're like, ooh, you can do 6 mortal wounds to 40 grots. Awesome. Great. They got 6-up saves anyway, or like skeletons or something. I don't know. So I would move away from anti-horde because personally, anti-horde is not what you want in ogres. You're not looking for that job. You know what's good against hordes in ogres? Literally everything. Gutbusters, right? Gluttons shred hordes. They just shred them. Stonehorns, pretty good against hordes. Iron Guts, pretty good against hordes. I mean, impact hits plus multi-damage weapons, that's like what ogres are about. That's pretty good against hordes. You don't need D3 mortal wounds, right? So what do you do with a Thunder Tusk, right? You could make it a good artillery piece, but in this game, if you can't snipe, then you probably don't want to play it. And it seems like they don't want you to snipe stuff, just on a core rules level. Maybe you... I'm sure when we see Skaven, you know, some of them will have a sniper ability or something like that to be able to target heroes, probably, I imagine. But it's also strange because in a really elite monster mash focused army, buff wagons aren't very good either. Like, the role of buff wagon isn't particularly good when your whole army is 3 monsters, or 4 monsters maybe. Alright, here's my 400 point kill monster, here's my other 400 point kill monster, and then here's a slow buff wagon that's gonna buff one of those kill monsters, and the buff guy is slow and your monsters are really fast, so they're gonna move off elsewhere. You might as well have just taken another monster that kills stuff, right? So that one's kind of tricky to figure out as well. It has to be something like King Broad. If you're going to do a buff wagon in a super elite monster army, you kind of got to do something like a King Broad, where he just like prays and it's board wide and it just helps everyone, and also he's a Chad. You kind of have to do something like that, maybe. And then a debuff focused thing is like, okay, do I want a debuff focused thing or just take something that kills something? Probably take the thing that kills something. Oh no, it's a pickle. They got to figure it out. I would make Thunder Tusk's good artillery. Or I would, you know, you got to go back to the drawing board. I'm not particularly married to the idea of Frost Wreath Ice. You could get rid of that. I don't care. Just have it be good, you know? Why? Because killing something is better than debuffing it, in almost all cases. And if you're talking vaguely equal points, you might as well take something that kills something rather than something that debuffs something. Just in general, if you have access to it. In a tempo-based, fast but not flying Monster Mash style counterpunch army like Beastclaw, I think. Skaven revealed today literally has that. Yeah, I figured something like that. Like, if they're revealing Skaven and it's a hero, and I'm looking at the hero's picture, I haven't clicked on it, but it's like, yeah, they have Scurry Away, so I assume it's got some sort of Scurry Away rule that they want to show off, and then maybe a sniper style ability to answer back. Funny was fact, the percentage armies in every GA that are cannibals varies, but is never X0. If you're a new player, do you think it's worth to memorize the older rules or just pay attention to the new rules? Depends on when you're going to finish painting your army house bear. If I was a new player, I guess how new? Yeah, this just depends. In general, I tell people not to buy something right before an edition change, because who knows if you're going to be able to use it. If it's good or not, you know. You don't want to buy something and have the rules change out from under you. That's no good, right? If I were just getting into the game right now, I would see no reason to rush whatsoever. And I would see no reason to learn the current rules at all. Eyes forward on the future. Learn 4th edition, paint the stuff I happen to own already, hold off on new purchases until I see all the rules, and just chill, you know. Unless you have a burning need to play on Discord this week or next week or something like that, just chill. It's fine. 4th edition will come out. Your mind will be free and clear to absorb all the 4th ed rules, and everybody else will be misremembering stuff that used to be the case, and you'll have a clear head. Plus, you don't want to rush painting anyway, and you don't want to rush to buy stuff when it might not make it to the table later on. So, now is the time to chill, I think. You don't think it should be a buff wagon, but sort of a 2-card combo that gives big damage steroid against the super heavies, maybe ammo. Could slow a target it hits. I still think it's better to just kill the target than slow it. That's why Frost Spear sucks. Okay, there's a lot of reasons why Frost Spear sucks, but one of the main ones is that I tend not to want abilities that do something if I fail to kill something. I want to just kill it. But maybe that's not what the unit's about. Funny AoS factor percent. Oh yeah, I already read that. Could just make it way cheaper, but then you gotta into the issue of like fitting stuff onto the table. Yeah, I think they should be really expensive, but also really impactful. I don't like the idea of we can't find a use for this, so we'll just make it inexpensive so you spam them. I'm not trying to spam monsters. I mean, I am, but I want them to be impactful. You had a hobby level up moment yesterday. You took your time painting a model's face and turned out great. Hobbies are rewarding. Yeah, Thomas Camcar, I agree. Just doing something creative in real life with your hands, you know, and in a way that you look and you're like, I did this before and I've done this now and it's better and I can see improvement. I experimented with this. It didn't work out. Just paint over it. I didn't... Improvement focused. It's just nice. It's nice to do that. And also assembly I find pretty zen as well. Because you're assembling something and everything fits in its right place and the whole world makes sense, you know. I like that. About some Ogre Gorges. Convert into Crypt Horrors, but you don't have any at all, so you don't mind having some. If they drop out of favor your shield, they'll come back and vote. Yeah, the Great Wheel turns eventually. Usually, sometimes. If you got Thunder Tusks in 2017, we are in the 7th year of them sucking. So sometimes the wheel turns very slowly. Oh, another thing, speaking of, I'm going to get to the news in a second, but while we're on the topic, I think the way they do Beast Rider into Huskguard into Frostlord is fundamentally flawed. I don't like that. Beast Riders have 2 ogres on it, right? And they're the Battalion version. Don't really have a problem with that. Next up is the Huskard. He has no weapon, just chilling. He has a bird, right? And Huskards are they're kind of in charge of stuff. And then next up you have a Frostlord. Now you start as a Huskard, right? And you are a priest, and you have a bird. And then there's an election, and you're elected to be president of the ogres, and so now you're a Frostlord. You don't have a bird, and you're no longer a priest. Why? You're the same guy. That's stupid. They should fix that. Do something about that. Either make all the Thundertusks priests, you know? Or all the heroes priests. Like, make some part of it make sense. I don't think that you used to be a Huskard, and now you're a Frostlord, and so you eat your bird and forsake your god. Like, that's funny, but it's also silly, and I don't think it should work like that. You know? That's weird. Fingpat, you're just now discovering how amazing the soundboard is in HeyWoah Discord. Please enjoy. A lot of time and effort was spent on that thing. There's like 45 clips on there. Please enjoy. I got a lot of voice channels in Discord for people to play games on and click funny memes at each other with. Transcending history in the world. A tale of souls and swords, eternally retold. Also, the amount of clips of just people saying big is slowly taking over. And also the absolutely unhinged Pippa shrieking clips are also starting to take over. We're fighting back, but they're gaining ground. Okay? Yeah, big, Jupe's big. The way Beast Claw's put together is super weirdly. Like, there should be a shaman. There should be a shaman rider. Common rider? Shaman rider? Does he have a belt? I think it should be more about the mount in general. If I were organizing it, and I'm not a game designer, but you would think the one with 2 ogres on it that are Battalion would be sturdier in general, have more wounds and stuff. I think they should all have the same armor. It's weird that a Stonehorn with 2 ogres on it has a 4-up save, and a Stonehorn with 1 ogre on it, who himself has no armor, now it's a 3-up. That's weird. I don't know. I think all the Thundertusks should be priests all the way up, and all the Stonehorns should not be. And so that's your fundamental choice. Like, you take a Thundertusk if you want a priest, and he's got some buffs, but also some reasons to take him. Maybe he synergizes with Mournfang, he can pass out his buff, he's a command center thing. And you take a Stonehorn if you want, like a killer monster. Instead of like Huskards are priests, but Frostlords aren't for some reason. That's weird. Maybe make it more about the mounts. This past weekend you had to teach people third because they wanted the general feeling for AoS. Made some things up for a 1v2 game, adding newer rules, whereas better feel for the game. You both liked it. Nice. Just to get him into it. How many points of ogres do you have, Mr. HeyWoah, like physically? Oh, jeez. Oh, Jesus. We're switching to Snowwalk, alright? How many points in ogres do I have? I have 5 or 6 Frostlords on Stonehorn. 6. They could be Huskards, you know, but they're modeled as Frostlords plus a bird, you know. So I have 6 Frostlord on Stonehorn, 2 Thundertusk heroes, 1 Thundertusk Beast Rider, 3 Stonehorn Beast Rider, Sorry, 4 Stonehorn Beast Rider. And something like 12 Mournfang. 6 Icefall Yetis. 6 Frost Sabers. Icebrow Hunter. Blood Pelt Hunter. Yeah. I think that's all the stuff I own. So I don't know how many points that would be. But yeah. If I'm able to total this up, 6 Frostlord on Stonehorn, 4 Stonehorn Beast Rider, 1 Thundertusk Beast Rider, 2 Thundertusk Hero. Probably, I think it might just be 10 Mournfang, maybe. Fully painted and ready to go, like probably about 10 Mournfang. 6 Cats. 6 Icefall Yetis, 1 Icebrow Hunter, 1 Blood Pelt Hunter. And this is, obviously I could never use 6 Frostlords on Stonehorn in one army, so why do I have that many? Great question. Because, to be perfectly honest, you know that Slanesh guy that I met at Adepticon who rebought his whole army so he could paint it better? I did that. I did that a year and a half ago. I basically rebought most of the monsters, not the Mournfang or anything. And then, like, made them all real customized and everything so that I could customize them cooler and paint them better. And I just haven't sold the old stuff because I don't feel like it. It's in my closet. And I pull it out sometimes if I'm going to play 3K tournament. Yeah, selling stuff is a pain. It's not like I need the money or the shelf space. If I do, I will. If I'm going to move, I probably will. But... hey, you're an amateur game designer, ooh woo, but you actually don't mind the larger creature having better arm. Logically, it might have a tougher hide. The priest thing is likely due to game balance. Yeah, the reason is because, you know, they want those to be cheaper. The battle line should be worse than the heroes. They want the heroes to be impressive. I get why they do it. Unky HeyWoah, can Cruel Boys and BCR get the rest of their model ranges in 4th edition, please? Hopefully. Along with Fire Slayers, and maybe even IDK to go along with it. KO, maybe. There's a decent chunk of armies waiting for their, like, second wave, you know? No pun intended with IDK, I guess. So, you know, I'm looking forward to that. But refreshes first, then second waves. Then maybe, you know, Malarian army is a treat. The paper cup pattern Yetis, yeah, I like those. The problem is only some people get the joke because it's an old meme. And it definitely does not get me any points in paint scoring, that's for sure. But I don't care. I think it's funny. I ain't going for a painting trophy anyway. If I was going for a painting trophy, I would practice painting all the time. But I don't want to. And you do what you care about. Right now, priests don't have the same interactivity as magic. You'd have to probably make denies also hit priests, which you think you don't want to do. They're, you know, they previewed it last time. They're trying to differentiate priests. They're letting your failures add to future successes as a priest, you know. You can't be unbound. But your god punishes you easier. It's easier for your god to punish you as a priest than it is for a wizard. You only need to roll 1-1 rather than 2, right? Give me a new glutton, dear god, please. Yeah, dude, the gluttons, honestly, damn. All right, massive, towering hopium, solar hopium. There isn't a single gutbuster model I would keep. Besides the brand new Gorgers and the Tyrant. Well, the Blood Pelt Hunter, fine. All the Ogre in a phone booth looking ass, derpy stuff, whole thing brand new. That being said, if I had to be realistic and target something, the first thing I would replace in all of Ogres would be a Gutbuster, even though I don't play Gutbusters. It'd be the Butcher. Butcher Slaughtermaster. I'd make it a dual kit, make it in plastic, super customizable. The first thing I would do, definitely, is a Butcher Slaughtermaster hero kit. Second thing I would do is flush Yetis down the toilet and then decide if we want to remake them or not. Frost Saber, Monopose, Fine Cast, garbage. Same with the Hunter and all. There's a lot of Fine Cast. The rest is get rid of the rest of the Fine Cast. But the Paper Cup pattern. What is the Paper Cup Yetis? Oh, so I wonder if I can find a picture of it. Can I find a picture? All right. So this is I was taking these pictures when I was in the painting mode, you know? And so I was working on my little Blood Pelt Hunter here. He's got his little orange gun season cap on. He's mounted in a tree stand. Technically, we're on the correct base size down here. What else we got? Oh yeah, working on these. These are all like the making of. Oh, there's Jupes. I painted a little raccoon friend for the Blood Pelt Hunter. There's the dude with the big hat. Hold on. Here's the front. He's got a cannon because my ogres are geniuses, right? So they're using cannons. He's in his little tree stand up there. And there he is. There's Jupes watching his 6, you know? It's me. Paper Cup. Oh yeah, Paper Cup Yetis. Here we go. I gave him the fucking arcade Paper Cup paint scheme. So that would be the reference to them. They're unfinished here, but that's the joke. It's on your thumbnail. Oh, is it? Work in progress of these guys. He's got the big hat. Right? And he's got the Altered Beast hat. I chained a great maw pot onto the back of a Stonehorn here. This guy's climbing an Idnet Deepkin boat. You need the green stuff up a big hat for your flosh. Yeah, for sure. And here's them on the table. Just chilling. Digging the gold horns. Yeah, I should go back and do a work or two on those. Just a work or two. You know, should we ahem. Since we're talking about pictures, working with the old bandsaw, because I had to reposition all their legs so they could be climbing and standing on stuff. It was annoying, but kind of successful. I had to redo the whole tree, get him to stand on there right, and everything like that. You can see the blast curtains because no light is allowed inside the wizard tower, and also C-stands and tripods and stuff everywhere. Oh. The one that got away. Gentle Pikami, taken before her time. Anyway, let's get some background music, shall we? Oh, I see it, yeah. Ahem. Shall we talk about the newiz? Skaven Warlock Engineer. Oh, hold up. Enhance. Do I want one enhance? I think that'll fit perfectly. Can you guys hear the music in the background? I can't, but I think maybe you can. Top 10 rat moments. Amazing Plibit. I didn't know she had a clown emote. Okay, good meme. Fuse magic and technology with this rodent researcher from the clans Skyri. Sorry, Scryri. The Skaven have combined vile magic with cursed artifice. Since their earliest days, and the techno-arcanists of the clan Scryri have been busy in the Ogre of Sigmar, right? Double musicking right now. Chill. There he is. He's a looker. He's looking. This model looks so dusty, doesn't it? Some printer remnants on it or something like that. The new Warlock Engineer is a sniper of surpassing skill. Surpassing? He surpasses his own skill. Who uses warpstone-infused bullets to take down enemy characters from afar. The best place for any Skaven to be. Oh, he's a sniper. Warlock Engineer is a sniper, huh? I know that they used to have one that had a bazooka, like a rocket. And he sucked, but he was cooler because rockets are cool. And there was a different one with a gun. They had to add dust in order to not scare the Skaven players. Good meme. Good meme. And he's got his long rifle here, I suppose. He has a mechanical leg. A tactical bronze whirligig down here. He got the blicky. The Warlock musket is deadly indeed with 2 shots of D3 damage and Ren 2. And the ability to auto wound on a critical hit. Alright. An Ogre Engineer can further amplify its power using the reaction ability more warp energy. Ooh, one of the strongest buffs in the whole game, historically. Kind of infamous for that. This buff was so fucking good. Granting the musket a flat 3 dam for the turn, providing you shot without moving. Okay, no moving in the movement game allowed. Got it. This being a Skaven device, of course, there's always a chance it might blow up in your face, right? But being a Skaven thing, it actually works. It's just you might die later, which is a completely fine exchange, I guess. More on Storm Fiends was goated. It was goated on a lot of stuff over the years. Yeah, plus the warp crystal thing that the hero could do. You wonder what the Bombardier is going to be used for now, since this little guy is the sniper. Probably shoots a rocket and the rocket blows up and it's for more of a, you know, an AoE thing rather than a single target, maybe. Foot hero, 24-inch range, you can probably not move and be fine. True mech rat. It's a lot worse on like a squad. Or a lot more restrictive, I guess. What's more? The Warlock Engineer is a spiteful sniper master, spotting enemy leaders with well-honed expertise, and the Far Pika tube. The Far Pika tube, huh? Of his Warplock optics, patent pending, before pointing them out for any Warplock Jezzails with a staggering 13-inch range. Okay. I don't know if I'd call that staggering. I would call that, fluffy. I'd call that a fluffy range. TF2, beta seething. Alright, let's see. It moves 6, save 5 up, 5 health. Can't die from D3, we're good. 2 control. Warlock musket, 24-inch range, 2 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2 D3, crit auto wound, okay. And then technically has some attacks in melee. Expert sniper, but hits on a 3-up. Well, looks like he's good at looking. I guess he's not good at pulling the trigger at the right time. Reaction. You declared a shoot ability for this unit. It was not set up this turn, and it has not used a move ability this turn. Okay. I like how they're kind of turn neutral about this. So if you're doing the thing where you can shoot on the opponent's turn, then you can still react to that with this thing. Kind of nice. 2-up, set the damage characteristic of this unit's Warlock musket to 3 for the rest of the turn. On a 1, inflict D3 mortal damage on this unit. Yep. I mean, he won't kill himself with the D3, so we do it. I wish he got his shots off first, before he died from it, so that it was even more worth it, but okay. Yeah, his hands are shaking from too much warp stone. Once per turn army, your shooting phase, Sniper Master. Pick a visible enemy hero to be the target. For the rest of the turn, this unit and friendly Warlock Jezzail units, wholly within 13 of this unit, can ignore the effects of the guarded hero ability, big, when picking the target for their shooting attacks. Alright. I figured we would get rules like this, the sniper rules. Once we added, like, lookout sir stuff, I would, you know, it makes sense that you would get something to ignore that, and it makes sense to put it on snipers. So this is your Jezzail hero that allows you to snipe stuff. Great. Finally. This is actually a good thing. Hero sniping. I know everyone hates it. They don't like it when their guys get shot. I understand. But I think it's bad for the game if your heroes are literally invincible unless you finally physically reach them in melee combat and they're like the last thing alive on the whole table. Because then you have to suffer their effects in the for the whole game. It's sort of like which type of oppression do you want, you know? You lose your rules early because your opponent did something to you, or the like enchantment that just stays out the whole game and you're playing red so you can't get rid of it, you know? Which one's worse, I guess? Does no one else get duck when they look at him because of the pauldron to face thing? Get duck? What? Can you still screen them, or does this get around LOS? Pick a visible enemy hero, so you still need to see them. You still gotta see them. This guy does. Does your unit of Jezzails? Let's see. For the rest of the turn, this unit friendly ward ignore the effects of guarded hero. Okay, yeah. You do have to shoot a visible thing, and so you ignore guarded hero, but you don't ignore needing to see them, right? More warp energy is just for this guy. And you can sniper. So you can't more warp energy when you have set it up, but you can Sniper Master when you've set it up, which is the more important one because this one buffs the squad, right? Invisibility spells are going to be important this edition. That would be cool. Yeah, I wonder if they're just clearly labeling everything as visible, or if we're going to get some counterplay to it. Are we going to get some invisibility, some, you know, cruel boys, you can't see them until they jump out of the forest. They had like a bed sheet over them covered in leaves and stuff. I wonder if we're going to get any of that kind of thing. You could explore some design space there. Yeah, this guy, if I remember correctly, this guy was once a wizard. He used to be a wizard. He's since lost wizard and got an ability that could have very well have been a spell. This ability here, right? But instead, it's a ability that simply works. You don't have to roll. It never doesn't work. And so I consider this a upgrade to him. Like, this is better than what he used to be. You take this guy if you're taking Jezzails. If you're not taking Jezzails, you probably take some other guy. Okay. I like how it's free. It doesn't cost resources. You don't have to roll 2d6. You don't have to roll 1d6. He doesn't accidentally hurt himself. It just fucking works. It doesn't cost a command point. It's not a spell action. That's refreshing to see. It just works. Hey, not bad. HeyWoah, I don't think we've ever seen a rules citation in War Scroll halfway, like a core rules 32 type 1 type deal like this dude. Yeah. I don't know if we have or not, but either way, nice parenthetical to show you exactly what that is. Because the friction with keywords is the person who's never seen the keyword before. That's the friction. Every other moment, keywords are great. No downside. However, if you've never seen it before, you don't know what it does, and so there's your problem. Well, core rules 25.0 tells you exactly where it is. You know, it's numbered big. Didn't used to be numbered. See that guy over there? You can shoot him 16 times the damage. Yeah. 16 times the magnification. God Howard. Mod Howard. He could still be a cheap foot hero sniper on his own. Not with D3 damage, no. But it's not nothing, you know. 2 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2 Ren damage D3. If you get a little bit lucky, you know, the 51%, you're probably going to do 2 damage with it. Okay. Not exactly going to shoot someone's head off, but it's chip damage. It could be 3 if you want to almost kill him to do that. If you want to set him to half life, and you're a Skaven player, so you definitely do, right? Or you could roll 2 on average, you know, whichever you prefer. Yeah, it was just 1 cast, 1 unbind, no big deal, true. And there was a spell called More Warp Power, and it looks like that spell has become this ability, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. More Warp Power used to be, and I think still is, Skaven player is going to have to update me, I might be thinking about 2nd edition. Reroll all hits and all wounds of a unit. Like, crazy strong spell, you know? I don't know if it's now +1 to hit and wound, but yeah, it used to be full rerolls. Jesus. Still, +1 to hit and wound is still very good. Like, that's still really good. Maybe it's just this ability now. Maybe that's not a spell anymore. Or maybe it is. Who knows? We don't know enough. You have to be super unlucky to self-kill this dude. Yeah, sure. I mean, it'll happen. But as a Skaven player, you kind of sign up for that anyway. It's kind of funny. The secret cool part about Skaven... what's a good word for it? Profligacy, I guess. Would be the deal is always worth taking. Even optimally. Even if you're thinking optimally, the deal's worth taking. That's the cool part about Skaven, mechanically. Is that the risk isn't whether it works or not, the risk is whether you die or not. So you always at least get your thing. It's not like a chance at the thing but guaranteed damage or whatever. And that's what I like about previous Skaven's rules writing. Because you got your thing. I mean, you might blow up, but at least you get it. You get that cool thing. It's worth kind of like always taking it. You bet that'll be an ability on each hero, and they'll do different things based on the hero's uses. Yeah, power pairs. More explicit power pairs, which I think is good. There has been here's where we go on a tangent. I think one of the game design problems with Age of Sigmar has been foot heroes intrinsically have struggled with having a, like, use, a reason to take them. And they've solved this problem in different ways across the editions. In very early editions, first edition, and some second, you needed a hero nearby to be able to use commands on stuff. And if that hero was dead, now you're going to fail battle shock tests and your whole unit is going to die and stuff like that. And then in third edition, everybody can issue commands to anything. And so what's the point of a foot hero? What do you need one for? Well, they don't have abilities on the War Scroll anymore. Command abilities, I mean. You don't need them next to a squad to issue commands. So what is a hero for? Fighting? Well, they suck at that. Being a wizard? Okay, yeah. So we want... Wizards are good, then. And then what else? That's kind of it. And so what's the point of having heroes? You kind of didn't want many, unless they had a very special rule on them, right? Wizard, priest, or buff piece. If you're not a wizard, a priest, or a buff piece, stop talking to me. You're useless. You have no use, right? And this is where we, as a meme on the channel, we made fun of the foot hero assassin. Like, your job is to be an assassin, but you're a foot hero with move 6 who isn't very good at fighting. And so you just don't do your job. And there's a bunch of them that do that. So it looks like, perhaps, why do you take a hero? Because it's a power pair. It's a combo. I mean, it's not a very clever combo. You're not playing Magic. You're not typing in, okay, there's a new commander and she gives you multiple upkeeps. And so now I'm going to look for all the upkeep triggers and see which ones are cool to double, right? It's just like, take Jezzails. You want Jezzails? Take this guy. This isn't a criticism because there's 30,000 cards and there's like 100 War Scrolls. Or maybe 40 War Scrolls, depending on the army. But I think this is good. It makes you want to take this guy. Having, taking them for power pairs is fine. Gives a buff. And plus you're going to have, what's the thing? Somebody said it in chat. I couldn't remember the name of the thing. What's it called? The opposite of auxiliary. The new way that you're going to build armies where it's like, you take this hero and he unlocks these 3 things. And that's what battalions are now. What's the official name for that? Somebody know? Regiments. Is that it? Okay. The other thing is regiments. And I could foresee, like, the bad world is heroes don't have any of these abilities. Like, heroes are just as bad as they were in 3rd edition, except now you just have to take them because of regiments. And so why would you want a hero? Because you have to pay your taxes. That's it, because it's a tax. That would be like the bad world. Luckily, if this guy's any indication, we might not be living in the bad world, or at least we're not exclusively living in the bad world. You could imagine this guy is part of a regiment where it's like a Warlock Engineer. In that regiment, you can take up to 1 to 3 units of Jezzails, 0 to 2 Warp Lightning Cannon. Okay, makes perfect sense, right? And then maybe 0 to 1 other type of engineer or something like that, right? And so there's a reason to play them first and foremost, and then there's a tax reason to play them. And if you have both of those reasons, then we're cool. Rat Mouse does it again. Then you have factions where allegiance abilities are tied to heroes, which are by definition harsh army rules if you don't have good heroes. Yeah. I guess the other version is like battle line unlockers, which they used to do and they've been doing less of moving forward. But it's like, I suffer this, where if I want Frost Saber battle line, I have to take an Icebrow Hunter. And that sucks because he sucks. And they suck. Actually, everything about it sucks. Jeez. They've mostly moved that over to sub-factions of late. But there's still some hangers on. I think the regiments are going to feel like the old way if you don't want to take your hero. But ideally, the hero's going to have a text box on him that makes you want to take him anyway. Even if it's as obvious as he make your Jezzails good. Okay. You know, I don't need to solve a Rubik's Cube. This isn't Path to Exile, right? I like Jezzails. We'll give him a sniper guy. Now I can snipe. Everybody's happy. It doesn't have to be crazy complicated. Great content as always. Best AoS content on YouTube. Morgan Cannoli, thanks a lot. First of all, cannolis are delicious. Secondly, appreciate it. You believe for once we may not be in the worst possible time. Yeah, I'm kind of, man, everything I'm looking at for 4th edition, hopium increases. FEC, you think, has literally one instance of this, and it's on the hero you want to deep strike with, so you don't start with him on the battlefield. Yeah. You have a lot of suspicion about literally anything James Workshop does, but so far 4th seems real solid. Yeah. I'm taking a military approach to it. Trust but verify. Because Matt Rose, so far, with everything I've seen in 4th, he's building up a reputation of me reading stuff and being like, yeah, it's pretty good. I like that. Okay. We don't know all the information yet, and so it's hard to be like, this is literally great, or this is trash, or, ooh, this is indicative of something that could be. I mean, I guess, but it's no reason to get bent out of shape about it. No matter how much you know about the rules that are coming out, there's still the opportunity for one random core rule to change everything, for the better or for the worse. Who knows? You gotta... All I can look at is the stuff at face value and then be like, this could be cool, this might not be, who knows? I'm deeply excited to play 4th. Ahem. Warp lightning cannons no longer needing a nearby engineer to go big overcharge, please. Crow Roost, I think we're moving in the direction where that's not gonna happen. I mean, like, the thing you don't want is going to happen. Here's where we start implying implications, right? But if this guy buffs Jezzails, I imagine the rocket launcher guy maybe buffs warp lightning cannons. We seem to be moving towards a power pair, kind of 2-card combo era. But maybe they're just showing us a few of the 2-card combo style things, and overall there aren't a lot of them. We don't know. Excitedly waiting the 24-hour stream day when the indexes drop. Meeps, look. I take my time when I'm going over stuff, because if you want the information real quick, you just read it on the website, right? And so, look, sometimes I'm going to have a 3-hour stream and it feels kind of short. I have done 8, 9, 10-hour streams before when they dumped an entire edition on us. I'm doing it. We'll do it live, right? Hopefully that's outside of my 2-month period, because at that point, who will still be watching, right? The blockbuster. That might not be one of the ones that'll count for the 75 average views, we'll see. As a lover of combos, you give it a big IQ. Ignoring the guarded hero ability is obviously fantastic, but what is a guarded hero? I'm guessing it's Lookout Sir. These are leaders and characters who... Okay, before I read it. Before I read the Lookout Sir, is it that you can't target them, or that you suffer a penalty to target them? What do you guys think? I mean, you guys have probably read this already. I haven't. What do I think, then? I think you can't target them. I think that's the direction they were going. Because a -1 to hit is kind of like whatever. Well, I don't know. Maybe in 4th edition it's not whatever. Right now it's kind of whatever. Because if you're trying to snipe, you're generally using something that procs mortal wounds. But maybe that's not true in the future. They're creating the whole world. They can do whatever they want. I think it's probably you just can't. I bet. What do you think the restrictions are? I think you have to have some other unit nearby. Can't be a monster. Maybe it has to be infantry. Like monster, like big stuff is out of the question. So no monster, no artillery piece. Has to be. But what about mounted guys? If there's horsies nearby, is that fine? Game mechanically. I'm guessing infantry. Yeah, previously it was wounds restricted, but that's stupid. And I don't think they would do something that foolish. Because there's no keyword for 10 wounds or less in the game. There's mounted stuff, there's infantry stuff, there's heroes, there's whatever, battle line. I don't think there's battle line anymore, but you know what I mean. 10 wounds for less is such a nebulous thing. I think they would get rid of that in favor of their keyword system. So I think that's gone. My guess is either infantry keyword or stuff that isn't a monster, isn't artillery, and doesn't have a mount, maybe. Nearby. Like within combat range, say. And then, like, can't be targeted outside of some... Maybe outside of... Let's see, at all or outside of a distance? That's interesting. Because if you say outside of a distance, now you got some counterplay. Besides just kill this stuff, right? I think it's distance based. And I think the distance is 12. Can't target outside of 12 as long as infantry guys within 3. Or infantry unit within 3. Ignoring the guarded hero, their leaders and characters are protected by press of friendly bodies around them, much like the old lookout sir, making them harder to snipe. The cheeky arrow or glowing musket round. Monsters and war machines are a bit too conspicuous to benefit from this kind of protection, yeah. But smaller heroes can find safety in obscenity, I mean obscurity. Infantry heroes can be downright impossible. Oh, so it's... Okay, cool. Alright, they're differentiating. Guy on mount, different than infantry, but they both have President, look out, sir, you know, the bodyguard. All heroes that are not monsters or war machines have the guarded hero passive ability. If this hero is within the combat range of a friendly unit that is not a hero. Oh, just that. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for shooting attacks target this hero. If this hero is infantry, they cannot be picked as target of shooting attacks at all. More than 12. I was kind of close. I didn't think they would differentiate between hero on a mount and hero is infantry. I like it. I thought they would go infantry has to be around there. But it's not. It's anything that's not a hero. Which... Good. Doesn't that make sense? Picture this. You have an Icebrow Hunter standing there. There's a Thunder Tusk next to him. Bro, the woolly mammoth can take a bullet. You can take a bullet for him, right? Like, why couldn't he? He's standing behind the thing's leg, looks like a tree stump, you know? Cool. This hero is within the combat range of friendly unit that is not a hero. -1 if it's on a mount. Essentially. And if it's infantry, can't be targeted outside 12. Dude, Matt Rose.
Pop? Yeah.
Yeah. Not bad. You just get within 12 forehead, right? a lot of times you won't be able to physically get within 12 because there's too many guys in the way, but, you know, you don't want perfect counters. Ahem. We are both right and wrong, yeah. Warlock Engineer is just one of a number of Skaven characters returning to the game with a fresh look and some unpleasant innovations. We'll have more to show you soon. But for now, okay. I want more stuff. You wonder if Catacross will have Lookout Sir? I think he should, just himself. Because he's got guys on his diorama, so it makes sense. You like one of a number and not one of many. The Cruelgrassed Cruciator is now impossible to hit while handing out +1 to save. Yeah. I wonder if he'll still hand out +1 to save. I don't know why they didn't show the Jezzails. I think that's a missed opportunity here. Obviously, the Jezzails are getting new sculpts. But I feel like you might as well have put that in this article, too. You know what I mean? You sure about that? I think I am, because... weren't they one of the ones that were going away? Hold up. I thought the Jezzails specifically were going away. If I IRC correctly. Rattling Gun, Warp Grinder, Jezzails, yes. Old Warplock Jezzails are confirmed going away. They are currently metal, I think. And new War Scroll mentions Jezzails specifically, so 100% new Jezzails guaranteed. That's a good thing. Good. Oh, man. I don't know. Kind of nice. I'm not even sad this guy isn't a wizard anymore, because he essentially has what his spell would have been, except it's automatic. Hey, good work. I'm sure you will have no shortage of excellent wizards in Skaven to choose from elsewise. So, alright. Why did they mention units that were just getting a new model in that squatting article? Because the way they handled this was terrifically bad. That's why. Technically, those Jezzails will no longer be sold, right? Even though they're getting a new model, this box is no longer sold, so they put it in the same place as things that are never coming back. Maybe, right? Like all of Sarcosanct. Like, Evocators are not returning. Nor are Evocators. But, maybe Judicators are. Maybe Paladins are. There's like, some of the first edition, the first wave Stormcast is getting refreshed. And some of the other stuff isn't. And they haven't been very clear about what. This Skaven stuff, most of this stuff, I don't think all of it, actually. I don't think all of it. But most of this stuff is getting refreshed in Skaven. Bone Splitters is not, it's just gone. They won't be selling it anymore. This stuff, gone. This stuff, still for sale, but sold in a different game. Except for this, which is just gone, and this, which is just gone. Like, they handled it so poorly. Like, it boggles the mind how poorly they handled that. But, yeah, anyway, good question. It's a reasonable question that anyone would have asked. And yet, rat swarms are probably gone. I think so too. I don't know that rat swarms are a very... I'm trying to think of the nicest way of saying interesting ever. They're not a very compelling model or sculpt. Just idea. Rat swarm. It's kind of like a bat swarm. It's just, you would have a bat swarm if it was a video game, but if it's a model or a rat swarm, not very compelling. Some of the bone splitters are in orcs and goblins in TW right now. Some of them. Rip Halloween store looking ass bat swarm. Yeah, those were awful. TW doing their best to balance the scales of Matt's design with terrible communication. Yeah, honestly, this shit put such a sour note on otherwise almost strictly excellent hype leading up to 4th Ed. And then they're just like, what if I went into your bedroom and just took a dump in your pillowcase? Right in the middle of it. Let's ruin our own thing. Yeah, alright. Weird. They didn't do this for any Slaves models that were getting refreshed with their new codex. No, that's all they did that for the Warcry warbands, because those weren't, as far as I know, ever going to be permanent. They're doing long seasons of Warcry stuff, I think, and Underworld stuff, I think. I don't follow side games, so I don't know. But that one was also kind of like poorly communicated as well. Reswarms could be the Skaven Nurglings, cheap nuisance units that fit into places where 20 clan rats can't. Yeah, but I don't think that's, like, great. Just make clan rats, you know. Nurglings are kind of beloved, I guess. And maybe I don't play Nurgle, so I don't see the point. I like Nurglings as little funny men on the bases, but I don't know that you need a Nurgling swarm exactly. Just a bunch of tiny little stuff, I don't know. I think there's a better case for Nurglings than rat swarms, however. Nurglings are so good for the points. Sure, but anything could be good for the points in 4th edition when they change all the rules, right? They're funny. They're funny little guys, right? And now the swan song. The last balance patch of 3rd edition that I think I will get it. I'll probably get a game in before 4th, you know? HeyWoah despising Nurglings for not being big. That's not the only reason. I mean, you didn't say it was the only reason. And I didn't say that it wasn't a reason. Hey, anyway. How about some news? A commercial. And, dude, any Beast Claw changes, though? I'll get a game or two in before 4th. I could do it on TTS. I could do it. Which one? Lewd Collage.
Hello there. I'm Mr. Cream.
AC Penny. When it fits, you feel it.
Once you pop,
The cream.
don't stop.
If it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face.
Deliciously hot, dangerously creamy.
The juice is loose.
She wanted to remember the love they shared for
Cream.
Sometimes you feel like a
Stuffed 5 ways.
So my family's looking for beef.
Now, that's what I call
Cream, yeah.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough.
And I am the cream.
Then why do we call it big? Because big things go into it.
at the Men's Warehouse.
You got cream.
I guarantee it.
So, my family's looking for beef. What's usually the ETA for a new edition release once I start sunsetting the previous? I think June, right? Is that what everybody is kind of thinking? Late June. 2 months from now, about. Is it going to do the bit for the MetaWatch video? No, I'm not going to do... Okay, this one's much shorter. This one is much short. I might actually watch this because it's that much shorter. I won't be quietly mimicking the hand motions of Matt Rose for 20 straight minutes. As I watch the view count just plummet, people leaving. Anyway, I'm gonna kind of scrub through it, listen to the intro maybe, And then we'll check out these changes, these points and stuff. We're expecting July since they accidentally left July 24 on a previous war score reveal, but they took that off. Oh, that's right. In the metadata, or not the metadata, that was the other thing. All right, I thought late June, maybe early July then. And damn, nothing's ever early, is it? The final day of July.
Hello and welcome to MetaWatch, Games Workshop's regular catch-up on all things match play. In this episode, we're taking a trip to the mortal realm.
Yo, lighting got a lot better. The lighting got a lot better in the studio. A little red over here, keep it interesting. This straight shot, I might have put him at an angle a little bit.
And who better to do that with us than Matt from the studio? Matt, how you doing?
Yeah, doing great. Good to be here again.
Yeah, lovely to have you. So let's jump straight in. With us than Matt from the studio.
Wait, no.
Matt, how you doing?
Yeah, doing great.
Dude, Dark Matt. Dark Rose. He's got that Darth Vader lighting.
Good to be here again.
Yeah, lovely to have you. So let's jump straight in. Tell us a little bit about the overall goals for this battle scroll.
Sure. So as everyone has surely seen on Warhammer community and elsewhere in the community, we are currently building up to the next edition of Age of Sigmar, which is a really, really exciting time. Mm-hmm. However, we still also have, a really, really active and thriving competitive community. There's some huge tournaments happening, really great events, a lot of top players competing to kind of close out third edition.
Yeah.
And so, this battle scroll is a relatively light touch, and it's just making a few tweaks based on the latest data that we have to try to ensure that, we can kind of close out the rest of this season, smooth over any rough edges that we're seeing, try to make any tweaks for internal and external balance. But, like I said, it's a lighter touch. We're not looking to drastically change things. Plenty of that is going to happen when we move into the next edition of the game.
Yeah, okay, of course.
In not too long.
Yeah, not too long at all. So talk to us about some of those slight changes you might have made. Sure. Then. Let's talk about some of the rules changes that you've made.
So there's only a handful of rules changes. For those that have been following in the previous battle scroll, one of the things that we did was to experiment by increasing the weapon ranges of a few units. So typically these were units that were on larger bases, or 32 mil bases, but only had a 1-inch reach, which made it kind of awkward to get all of your models fighting in combat. And that change actually worked really well. And so the data on those units was that, inclusion of those units went up. They help the factions. It's easy to use. And it's also, one of the things we like is that it's also very much in line with where we're going with the next edition, where in the next edition of the game, there are no weapon ranges at all. Yeah. Now, getting rid of melee weapon ranges in the next edition kind of requires a lot more rebalancing in detail. So applying that universally, we had to make adjustments to, for instance, units that have both spears or hand weapon options to make sure that those have different roles on the battlefield.
Okay.
But, there are a handful of cases where it's kind of appropriate to apply it.
Yeah.
So we've extended that. So there's a couple of units that are going to have their weapon ranges tweaked, including Putrid Blight Kings, Spite Revenants, Alariel, the Ever Queen. So the Great Antlers has been a bit of an issue for a while, in that they've only had a range of 1 inch, even though on the model they're fairly huge.
Greater, yeah.
They're greater.
Yeah.
And so that's now increased all the way up to 3 inches, following a lot of other monsters. So, like I said, a handful of tweaks to weapon ranges, just extending that out, making it a bit easier to use those. So kind of quality of life tweaks.
Okay.
The only other rules change that we made is to Flesh Eater Courts, the Cruel Taskmaster command trait. Overall, we're actually quite happy with how Flesh Eater Courts has entered the meta. There's quite a good internal balance from what we're seeing. Quite a lot of the units getting run. A number of the different sub-factions are getting run. And, in terms of win rate, it's been external win rate. They've been a little high, but not much, still within our target bracket. It's kind of 53%, hovering around there. The one part that has been a little unbalanced has been the internal balance of command traits, and in particular, Cruel Taskmaster has been kind of overperforming for what we'd like, both in terms of inclusion and the impact that has on the faction overall. So the tweak that we made there is just to only apply the discounted noble deeds cost to the first model you bring back. So previously what it let you do is it let you bring back a knight, so like a crypt horror or a flayer, which normally costs 2 noble deeds points. It let you bring back each one for 1 point, or bring back 2 serfs, like a ghoul, for 1 point. So effectively giving you half cost on that recursion. Now that only applies to the first model you bring back. So if you bring back ghouls, the first point you spend, you can bring back 2. Then you're back to normal.
Yeah.
If you bring back knights, you can bring back 1 knight for 1 point, and then you go back up to 2. So just taking the edge off that, and hopefully that achieves a better internal balance with the other commands, but just takes the edge off their recursion a little bit. And that's really it for rules change at this point. So like we said, we didn't want to meddle too much with rules changes, given the proximity to the next edition, right? Given how much will change anyways as we roll into the next edition and brand new war scrolls for everyone. So at this point, keeping it light.
Just about making the sort of final tweaks.
And mostly just little quality of life changes.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. So how about some of the points changes that you've made as well?
Sure. So similar theme in that, really the approach for this one is nothing too drastic. Generally we're talking 10-point adjustments up or down, and it's very much based on the data that we have, particularly the per war scroll data. So what we're looking at is, again, helping out some of the units that are struggling a little bit to give them maybe a better internal balance, a better inclusion. Taking a number of the units that either get included but have a lower win rate when they're included, right? That suggests they're not quite efficient enough, or that their inclusion's low in the first place. And so mostly what you'll see is a number of units across many factions seeing some drops, just to give you some more viable options, to vary up your army rosters, try out some units. Maybe if you had a unit that you were including, but they were struggling a little bit, should help them out. In addition to that, there are a few kind of balance-focused tweaks where we've increased a handful of units. So one of the factions that's had the most changes on that front is Blades of Khorne. So with the recent changes that we've made, so with the change to Wizard Finders, the Battalion, which has done quite well. So again, that change was successful and has seen inclusion of that. And with the kind of general buffs to the anti-magic side in the last battle scroll, and nerfs to some of the very magical factions that were performing well, you've seen Blades of Khorne are now kind of well positioned up at the upper end of factions. So we've done a number of points changes on there. Again, mostly kind of 10-point increases on a handful of units that have a high win rate. So these units will typically have individually kind of a 57 to 60% win rate. So when that unit is included, those lists perform well. And it also includes 20-point increases on the 2 most popular Bloodthirsters. So Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage and Unfettered Fury. So again, high inclusion, high win rates. Now, as a percentage change, right, 20 points up versus a 350-point unit, it's not huge, but it will definitely make an impact on the lists. And it's just to make sure that, we keep that kind of cap on Khorne and make sure that Khorne doesn't suddenly surge to the top faction as other factions get brought in line a little bit. Osiarch Bone Reapers have also seen a number of increases. Now, again, typically relatively small increases. They're only 10 points up on a number of units performing well. We've talked about Osiarch a few times on MetaWatch in that, competitively, particularly at 5-game grand tournaments, I think they've actually come down to middle of the pack or upper middle of the pack. They are rarely, they're not quite the dominating threat that they used to be.
Yeah.
However, at smaller events, so 3-game events, they do still, they are still overperforming. They do still have a high win rate.
Okay.
So it's just trying to balance. They tend to go 3 and 2 more often than not. And it's just kind of trying to balance that out. So, lots of other small changes, lots to dig into on every faction, hopefully giving you some new options for your lists. Maybe taking the edge off some really focused lists where people are, a 10-point change is not much, but if you're including 8 of that unit, that's where it starts to stack up, starts to add up. And so, like I said, just little tweaks throughout, hopefully to just smooth out any rough edges, drawing to a close of the season.
Nice. And I feel like I know the answer to this already, but what is next for the studio? What are you looking at next?
Well, yeah, I mean, we are absolutely, buzzing with energy and excitement over the upcoming next edition of the game, and all of the changes that's bringing in. And something that I'm, particularly interested in is leveraging a lot of what we've learned from going through battle scrolls and MetaWatch, in terms of having a closer interaction with the competitive community, in terms of talking to players, listening to players, attending events, and really having those, those one-on-one conversations that we've really have been so valuable to us. And I really, really appreciate it. I'd love to give a huge shout out to everyone that's helped us along the way, and everyone that's given their feedback, that's emailed in to AoS FAQ at gwplc.com. We read everything that comes in. I love having those conversations with players. And, what I'm really excited about is putting all of that to use, to, help start on the right foot and balance, get the next edition to kind of the best place it's ever been in terms of balance. Now, it's a big change. A lot of War Scrolls are changing. All of the War Scrolls are changing. There's some big changes in the core rules, a lot of which you'll continue to hear about over the coming weeks. And so, we do expect things will probably be a little chaotic early on. But, I do feel confident that we have the tools in place and experience that we've built over this edition to, quite quickly get that into a healthy place.
Well, I, for one, am super excited about the new edition. And thanks for coming to talk to us about all of the changes that you've made as well. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on MetaWatch.
Nice. Hey, all right. Really informative. Love the video. Always love listening to Matt Rose just give his thoughts on stuff. Look back, HeyWoah being our ASL interview. Yeah, we're just watching the video, hearing about the. I mean, really, it's just the end of it, right? So, letting you play with a few more different things, down with some points on stuff as we approach the 4th edition. Lewis is super excited. Enough said. I'm super excited. Even about something like that Chaos mentioned, yeah, you joined just in time to cast some spells, but we've heard about why it's being made. Let's see what we're doing. Changes in previous are in magenta, so nothing here. Nothing here. Putrid Blight Kings increased the range of blighted weapons 2 inches. Huge. Obviously, like he mentioned in the video that we were all paying attention to instead of the hand gestures, right? In 4th edition, weapon ranges are going away. Everything's 3 inches, but Putrid Blight Kings, they're huge. They got tentacles for half of their arms and stuff, making them 2-inch range. Makes a whole lot of sense. We're getting... There's a video. In your head, yeah. Matt Rose comes out saying, guys... What the shit? How did you make Clan Rat one-shot Kragnos? Yeah, who knows what's gonna happen? To me, this is an exciting time. Right when something comes out and no one knows what's good yet, to me, that's the most exciting time for games. Whether it be a new set in Magic or a new format or just anything like that. Nobody knows what's good yet, and so you have just a buzz of creativity happening all over the place. Red decks tend to win in that area until the archetypes are locked down, but it's still interesting. And you hardly have anything to compare it to because, oh geez, what's good? What's actually good? You're not sure yet. That's cool. Yeah, is silly shit, wacky combos, and red aggro always. Yeah, and control generally isn't quite around yet. People are playing combo and they don't know if the combo is fast enough yet. People are playing control, but they don't quite know what silver bullets they need to be playing against anything, and can I tap out or not on this turn or whatever. But it's, to me, that's the fun time. It's the Johnny time. Sylvaneth Ilario increases range of Great Antlers to 3. Increases the range of Cruel Talons and Fangs to 2. Sure, just like he said in the video that everybody was, of course, paying attention to. We're just looking for quality of life at this point as we drive 3rd edition out into the countryside. Cruel Taskmaster taking a touch, just a little bit of a nerf. A faction that he plays as his main army, but, you know, you can't just have the army that you play be strong. Imagine how unprofessional that would be, right? If only experimentation in Magic was cheap. I mean, the playtesting side of that is. Entering the tournament for it, yeah, not so much. But impending vermin doom. And now the points. Alright. Lock on down, Blades of Corn. Up on Bloodsecrator. Up on some Blood Thirsters. Up on Hexgorger Skulls. Come on. Skull Reapers. Slaughter Priest up. Valkia. Really? Right before she's retired? Wrath Mongolers. Okay. City Sigmar. Battle Mage up. Fleet Master. A whole bunch of stuff just down 10 or 20. Maybe you'll get to play an extra unit if you're leaning into a Dwarven army or something like that. Steam Tank up. Daughter's Kane, everything down. But what is it? Witch Elves. Doomfire Warlocks. The Vipa. Medusa. Oh, okay. Both Snake Ladies down 10. Blade Wind. Super cheap at 20 points. Valkyrie going up was the funniest thing. Like, why? Who took her ever? I don't have a good answer to that question. I didn't think anyone played her, but maybe a Korn player in the chat can be like, oh no, yeah, metagame defining. I mean, she could be. Pretty soon, yeah, I guess pretty soon no one will play her because she'll be gone. I don't know, maybe she's getting a brand new super cool demon centerpiece version of her or something on a bigger base. I don't know. The high top players play her? Okay. So then it's a purely like competitive meta call then. Zinch a bunch of stuff down except for Gaunt Sum. Plus 10. Surely she's a demon now. She better be. Yeah, a lot of these are just kind of race to the bottom stuff. But they said they went over all the war scrolls. In balance patches, they're allowed, clearly, to change some rules. But in the grand scheme of things, even though this is 4 pages, right? This isn't a lot of rule changes. Considering how many armies and war scrolls and abilities and spells are in the whole game. They're mostly allowed to do points. And you can't do too much with points. If a war scroll is bad, then making it cheaper generally doesn't do anything. It's still bad. The only way it does something is when it gets so cheap that it's just like, well, I guess it's 14 wounds on the table. I might as well pay 30 points for that or whatever. And that's not a great thing to do either, because then you're just spamming something. Hey, both of the Ghoul Kings went down. Big Chalice of Oosh, plus 20. Arc Regent, plus 20. Number of models in corner the same, starting with Skull or Blood, adds up to exactly 8. Coincidence? You know what? Maybe not, actually. Maybe not, actually. Gietz, going down on some stuff. Hey, speaking of Fungoid Cave Shaman, Snazgar Stink Mullet. Kragnos, the Forbidden One, down to 700 clean. Let's go. My army just got cheaper, and I noticed it in the Gloomspite Gietz section. Let's go. Let go. Slanesh, Blade Binger. Exalted Infernal, Lord of Hubris, Mesmerizing Mirror. Painbringers and Twin Souls down 10. Okay. Mostly, yeah, both Eidolons down 20, Soulscribe 10, Voltanos. Hey, Voltanos 10, that's kind of nice. Codewright, Endrin Master with Dirigible Suit, and Sky Wardens. Stone Guard. Lyriol, Uthrail, Warden of America, down 10, you love to see it. Eltharion up 10, because he's maybe being used, even. Blade Lords, Dawn Riders up. Banner Blade down 10 to 70. I hope he does something cool in the new edition. Megakin of Nergol, Night Howlet. Black Coach, Cairn Wraith, Knight of Shrouds, plus Steed. Krogest Cruciator up 10. Scriptor Mortis, minus 30. Damn. Vault of Souls chopped in half, huh? That's a big change. Percentage-wise. Ogremont Tribes, Bloodpelt Hunter down 10. Yeah, if only he did something. Hey, Frost Saber's down. Let's go. Let's go. Now it's 70 points for 2 models. They're no longer 40 points a model. Let's go. Icefall Yahitis down to a hundo. Maneater's down 10, and Kragnos, the End of Empires. Hey, my army list just got 20 points added to it. Yahitis down to a flat hundo. The value. It's a shame they can't issue themselves commands. And that they're not battle line unless you take a Thunder Tusk. But aside from that, take 10 sets. Easy game, easy life. Hey, I'll take it. 20 points on my army. Good. And they know that this guy sucks. They know that this shit sucks. They know that these guys suck. I look forward to seeing their rewritten War Scrolls in 4th edition, for sure. OBR, up with Archon, Cavalos, Liege, Mortijan, Soul Mason down, Soul Reaper up. Flat 200 for Death Riders. Xantos down 10. So all the Yetis before they get Yahiti'd into Legends, yeah. Hey, I look forward to Yetis getting a cool ass sculpt. I might get some. Orc Warclans. Gordrak 420, funny meme number. Kill a boss on Corpse Ripoff Vulture, down 10. Break a boss on Maya Brew Trogoth. Oh, this is actually good. This is a potentially a meaningful change here, right? Wait, is it? Hold on. Maya Brew Trogoth. Is this Master Blaster that I'm looking at? I think it is, actually. He's the fun guy, but he's not the meaningful one. Never mind. Yeah, Big Man on Trog. Okay, I thought it was the Swamp Boss guy. Alternative. But 170 wouldn't make sense for that guy. Ahem. Points down on stuff. All over the place. The final stumbling dash and the race to the bottom for most of these changes. Sludge Raker is the good one, yeah. Sludge Raker Beast, right? SBGL. Manfred up 20. He was being used a little bit. Oh, Cato Easy Chair. The Burka Lounger King. Radikar the Based. Radikar the Wolf. Sons of Behemoth only changes Kragnos down. Slavs to Darkness. Arcan down 20. I very look forward to seeing his War Scroll in 4th edition. Please. Various Chaos Lords on Mount that aren't that great. Down 10. Chaos Sorcerer Lord on Manticore that needs a new sculpt. Please. Bobby Briccolini. Down 10. Never been a better time to buy. And everyone always buys, plays with Furies, so they're up 10. Still worth it. I hope it doesn't ruin any armies. Vortex Beast, which probably should be in Tzeentch 2, to be honest. Ogre Myrmidon and Slays Darkness Gaunt Summoner. Casual Khan links to tier 1 for 7 months. I appreciate it. TY. True Blade's negative 20. Okay, that's big. Don't feel like you can't speak up when I get to your army. I don't play all these. And so if something is a big change or a cool change, don't hesitate. The Vulture within spitting distance of being 1 point per dollar. Yeah. This is just why it's so good that they've, for 4th edition, looked at all the War Scrolls and given them the old, okay, what is this thing supposed to do again? Let's start over. And they don't need to carry everything from what it used to be forward, like what seems to be how they used to go. Crazy the Scared, down 20. Kron Dias, down 20 as well. No Award, having 500 point monster, looking ass. Dracothian Guard, which I had really hoped they would retire. If they were going to retire anything, it should have been these guys, not Sarkasync, but whatever. Comet back at 100. Vexilor with Banner down 10. Oh, okay. Not the meme one, but the Resurrecto one, yeah. Palador's Vigilor's Yndrasta down another 10. Looking forward to her new War Scroll, so now race to the bottom. Sylvaneth Branch Weach. Ghostman Archers. A bunch of Kurnoth downs. Size down 20 after they buffed Greatswords to be just better. In general. Mostly. Spirit of Dearth. Spire Rider, Lady Vines. Down 20. Comet probably deserves to be at 100, to be honest. I think it's alright. It's alright there. The last time I remember seeing a Comet on the table was when Comet came out. And people were playing it in like mixed order lists 100 years ago. Thousands of years ago. But in, hey, new edition, they won't be costing points. They're just costing opportunity. So maybe we'll be seeing more of that kind of thing on the table. Hey, most of these are like race to the bottom points. Most of these are attached to War Scrolls that are just bad and don't do anything you want, which is why they go down every single balance patch forever. And they're generally still never taken, even though some of their prices are approaching like 40%, 50% down from where they used to be. But that's why you look at War Scrolls, and that's also why I'm excited for 4th edition. This is neat. It's fine for a last hurrah. Okay, a little tweak here, an extra, 2-inch reach here and there for your last 3rd edition event, and we look forward to the future. Yeah, Taskmaster was at 170 at launch, and he is now 100, and he is still bad. Because in general, the reason why most of this stuff, nobody uses it, isn't because it's pointed wrong, it's because it's bad. It's because what the thing that it does is bad. You don't want what it does. And so it kind of doesn't matter what it costs. To a point, obviously. Anyway. Super excited for 4th. Great work. Refreshed Endless Spells kit would be neat too. The core one is kind of ass and old, and it features all of them. Weird base sizes. Use it pretty regularly in your lists. Great way to smack down backline heroes. Ahem. Comet 100 Lamau. All right, chat. Finishing things out. Let's do one of these. Would you rather always consciously breathe or always consciously blink? The answer to this is obvious. Always consciously blink. If you always had to consciously breathe, you would die in your sleep, or have such bad sleep apnea that it would affect all sorts of other physiological problems. So the answer has to be always consciously blink, and when you go to sleep, you just make sure that your eyes are closed, right? There's no other choice. Like, it has to be that. Otherwise, you just die, or have just the worst sleep ever, right? 42% of people are willing to die because they don't think about the implications of a question. And we'll leave on that note. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks for the